What's up, everyone? This is Will Dorsey Jr. of Talk Music Podcast. My guest for episode 16 is a guy named Mike Leon. He's a bass player for Soulfly and CKY. Dude got some incredible stories. And we meet up on a lot of things and a lot of things we have in common, and which is pretty cool. Anyway, learn about him, watch the show, and learn about Mike Leon.
Welcome to Talk Music with Will Dorsey Jr.
Every month,
Our host Will is going to interview musicians from around the world and talk everything music. Our listeners range from professionals to recreational musicians who want to learn more about the industry, their instruments, and the community of top musicians. So join us, subscribe, and keep up with Talk Music.
visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, eRecord Studio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their eRecord sessions on social media. Visit ERS on eRecordStudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Thanks for being on the show, man. I wanted to introduce you to everyone that watches our show, and say this this is Mike Leon. He's a great bass player that was playing in Soulfly.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's the new bass player. I just found out in what was it, July?
Yeah.
So July, he's in CKY now.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Everybody welcome Mike Leon.
Hello.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, I love
that production value,
dude. Dude, that's sick, man. I need to get stuff like that, man.
I got you, bro. I got you. We'll get it dialed in.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, by the way. It's a pleasure to be here.
Dude, you're man, thank you for being even just doing this, man.
Oh man, that's cool.
I was surprised that that you really wanted to do it, man. That's I love that. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Is it too early for a story time? Can I do a quick story?
No, let's do it. Go ahead.
For the listeners?
Yes, do it.
So the last time I saw you was actually my first show with CKY at Warped Tour. Remember? I passed you in the parking garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you were like, yo, I'm doing this podcast thing. Would you like to be a part of it? And I was like, yeah, dude, I would love to be a part of it. Let's do it. And now here we are. And look at us. Look at us.
Yeah.
It's a short story. It's a good one.
Dude, I love that my man thing, man.
Mm-hmm. My man.
Yeah. Man, do you remember, man, when did we first meet, man?
Bro, I was trying to rack my brain thinking about it, and I feel like it was a festival somewhere in Europe, perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Do you remember?
I'm trying to as well. I don't know. Yeah, I know it was with Soulfly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And yeah, that's all I remember, but I can't remember what festival it was.
They all blend together, dude.
Yes, they do.
Especially when it's when we're both out there doing our own routes, and it's like two ships passing, and then hey, dude, see you later. And that's it,
right,
yeah. It's like that out there. But I do remember I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, body count, man, that's sick.
Oh man,
we were playing together somewhere. It might have been somewhere. I feel like it was I tried to Google it actually.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was like, when did Body Count and Soulfly play the same show? It might have been Alcatraz Festival or something like that, or Resurrection. I don't remember.
Man.
Somewhere over there. But either way, I'm glad it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. It could have been when I was probably drum teching with the Offspring.
That might have been it too.
Yeah, because I know Offspring and like they get with some metal bands as well,
Hmm.
and it might have been during that time. I man, I don't
Yo,
know,
was it
man.
that festival in Canada called Montebello Rock Fest? It was Soulfly played, I believe, with the Offspring and Wu Tang and Rammstein.
Oh,
Montebello Rock
oh,
Fest.
dude, no,
That
no, no,
might have
no,
been
no,
it.
no, yeah,
That might
no,
have been it.
yeah, yeah,
All
that was
right.
it.
Now
That
we're on to
was it.
something. I knew it was a festival, and Montebello was a really good one, and it's like got a lot of European vibes. It's right there on that lake in the back of it, and behind the
Hmm.
stage.
Yeah,
How do you
dude,
forget playing with Wu Tang and Rammstein on the
son,
same stage?
I man, Rammstein was just like I wasn't. We were loading out, and all of it, they didn't even tell us. We were just loading out, and all of you heard was just like this loud explosion, and I was not ready for that at all because we were loading the truck,
Oh God,
like
yeah.
like
You like hit the
wow,
ground. Oh
right? I was
shit.
like, what the, like,
Oh, it's just Rammstein playing.
right? It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know the show was like that though. But I mean,
Bro, they're so crazy. They're so crazy.
mm, dude,
Yeah.
man,
That
yeah,
must have been it. Yeah.
yeah, that's
That was like
got to be
2016 or something, man.
something like that. Yeah, no, it had to been because
Hmm.
I hit up with Max
Hmm.
during a photo. I'll share it with Steve
Yeah.
later and show him that with the picture with Max. It has to be there. It
Yeah.
has to be
I
there.
think so. I
Yeah,
don't know
dude.
how I figured the more we talked about it, I was like, we're getting closer. We're getting closer.
You're
We fucking nailed it finally.
dude. Thanks for remembering. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the coffee helps.
see,
Yeah.
see, dude.
Yeah.
What kind of coffee you drinking?
Got a little blend going on here. I do my
Uh,
own little thing. I got
do
a
you
good
really?
buddy, yeah, a buddy of mine, Nick Marrero. He's like a tour manager for the Stars. He does he has a company called Malacca Coffee, and he has this flavor that's like with like all these chocolatey hints that are super delicious. So I
What?
mixed that. Yeah, I make it with a French press, and I'll put 2 scoops of those grounds in, and then I'll put a scoop of Cafe Bustelo, which is like a Cuban espresso,
All
and I
right.
blend them suckers together, boy, delicious. It's just it could like it's got a great flavor, but it also
Oh,
got the kick.
yeah,
Mhm. I'm a big
dude,
coffee guy. I love coffee everywhere
dude.
we go.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I like coffee myself, but I'm on that mushroom coffee stuff right now.
That's dope. I
Yeah.
did it a couple times. My buddy Nick Shinzelos, you know Nick Shinzelos?
No, I don't. No.
He's a bass shredder. He plays in a bunch of bands. He actually took my place when I left Havok. He's
Oh,
another Denver boy. He's a monster on bass, but he got me my first sips of mushroom coffee, and it was pretty dope. It was a cool experience.
yeah. Yeah, it's I just feel like it's, helping with my gut, so
Oh, that's great.
and of course, it doesn't help that I'm lactose intolerant, you know what I mean?
Oh, are you?
So oh my
Damn,
God.
that's tough. I think I have developed it as well.
Oh, really?
I think so too. I used to love like ice cream and pizza and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
now when I do it, it's like a ticking time bomb. I got about 30 minutes to find a comfortable spot to do the business, or it's a problem. So yeah, I think I'm developing it in my
Oh, okay. Uh,
older age here.
dude, that's awesome, man. Um,
Yeah.
man, let's talk about when you were a kid, man. When you're growing up, man. What made you? Actually, where are you based from, man?
Well, I was born and raised in Tampa, Florida, and I've lived
Mm,
there for most of my life. There was a few years where I moved to Denver when I was playing in Havok, and then
okay.
I moved back to Tampa for pretty much the whole time I was in Soulfly and Cavalera. But my wife and I just recently, almost a year ago exactly, moved out here to Los Angeles. So now I'm out here,
Dude,
loving it.
congratulations, man.
Yeah, man, it's a cool
Congratulations,
spot.
man. Dude, I love LA, man. I'm originally from Maryland, man, and yeah, I'm not going back. So
Where are you? I meant to ask earlier. Where are
oh,
you?
I'm in the IE in the Inland Empire
Oh, okay.
section. So I'm up in the mountains. I'm up in Mount Baldy. So
Dude, that's
uh
sick. I had
so I
no
get
idea.
get all the seasons,
Yeah,
so get the fall, get the winter, especially the winter, man. I mean, we get some snow, man. So
dude, that's crazy.
I I, I thought I was moving away from from
Snow,
all the snow, and I'm back in it, dude. So
back in it. I'm coming from a spot that has one season and it's summer all the time. That's Tampa. Tampa is
oh
just a brutal, brutal, brutal climate, honestly. It's very tropical. Another big reason why we left was the hurricanes.
oh
And it was just getting to be too
mm,
much. The heat was too much, the humidity, the summers
oh
are miserable. It's like difficult to go outside. You can never have the windows open. And I
yeah.
moved to the exact opposite of that. Like
Oh
now in
right.
LA, I got all my windows open all the time. It's beautiful. It's raining sunshine every day, like yeah, it was a good move. We definitely deserved a better living situation weather-wise.
Right. You can't be mad at that at all, man.
No, I'm not. Look at me. I'm smiling, bro. It's a
Right.
good day. It's a good day here in LA, baby.
Man, dude, what made you get into music?
Well, my parents were always listening to music of one sort or the other. My mom had a lot of like pop sensibilities and stuff, and she was listening. She was bringing stuff like the Talking Heads and
Mm,
Paul Simon and stuff like that into the house. And then my dad's the rocker. My dad was bringing stuff like Carlos Santana
there you
and Van
go.
Halen and Black
Yeah,
Sabbath, Led Zeppelin.
yeah.
And so I had like kind of a cool mix of all that. Plus, back in the 90s when I was a kid, the radio was actually really good. So there was like, that's how I found the Chili Peppers and all, like Alice in Chains and stuff like that. So
Okay.
those were like some of my favorite bands growing up for sure. And I guess that's kind of what got me into the rock and roll world, was going to work with my dad. He worked in construction. He was like a supervisor,
Okay.
and we'd go and I'd go to work with my dad, and he'd be listening to Led Zeppelin in the truck on the way there, and then we'd
Yeah.
be on the job site and everybody's listening to what was the big radio station was 93.3 FLZ, and that's where you could like listen to Alice in Chains and stuff. I remember
Yeah.
hearing Alice in Chains on the job site, and I was just like, this is sick. It was like Rooster,
Oh yeah.
it's the song
Yeah.
Rooster, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
cool, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
those were like my formative musical years.
Dude, I heard that you used to play violin, man, when you first started, right?
That was my first instrument, actually.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. The
Oh,
first instrument I ever picked up. It was
man.
it was like a school, In school you had to play, like there was a musical program in my middle school,
Right.
and they either had like a band, which was more like brass, and wood instruments, and then the orchestra was, strings, and basically
Mm,
just like the double bass, cello, and violins.
dude.
And I kind of gravitated towards the violin. I'm not sure why. I think I knew I wanted to play strings, and I thought the violin was cool.
Yeah.
So I picked that up, and that I think is why that was the first step in my path to playing stringed instruments. I loved the violin too.
Sure.
Like it was a really cool
Do you,
time.
do you remember what grade that you started playing violin, or I
I
mean, I
think
know this is it's like a hard reach, like trying
No,
to
I
remember that.
remember. It was
Yeah.
I loved it, dude. I loved it. I think I was in the chorus in my 6th grade year, and I learned like how to read music and like, notation, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I sung in the choir, but in 7th grade I was like, I think I'm gonna move to playing an instrument, and that's when I went into the orchestral program in my middle school.
Okay. Okay. Man, look at you, man. All right.
Everybody starts
Orchestral.
somewhere, you know what
I
I'm saying?
I did it too, man. But it
Yeah.
was, of course, it was all about drums and
Mhm.
like playing timpanis and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And later on, just kept on. I stuck with it, but I was also doing the whole chorus thing as well.
Yeah.
So I was playing the chorus, and then of course, orchestral stuff. Like with strings, but of course it was always like I was either on snare or bass drum or something
Mhm.
like that. You know what I mean? So
That's funny. That's fun. I have a funny story about that too.
okay.
Um, so in 8th grade, I changed schools. Excuse me. In 8th grade, I changed schools, and they didn't have the orchestra at the new school. They just had band. And I was like, damn, that sucks, because I spent that whole year loving violin. I still had it, and I played it in my own time back in the house. But at school, I ended up having to play the saxophone. And
Really?
yes, it was a very, very short-lived endeavor. And when I was playing the saxophone, my best friend, Nick Getler, he also changed schools with me.
Right.
And we both were like, we wanted to be in a band because, like, we were, you know, listening to Blink-182 or whatever the hell was popular in, like, 1994 or whenever it was. Or maybe, I don't know, later. But he was playing the snare drum because he wanted to be like Travis Barker.
Right.
And it was like, and then it was like, at school, it was like, he was like, yeah, that's cool, you know? And then I was like, I remember we had one day where it was like, we came home from school and we were like, how the hell are we going to jam? Like a snare drum and a saxophone. What is that? What are you going to, like, what music can we possibly make? Like the strangest, like, avant-garde shit possible.
Oh man.
So he quit band pretty quickly because he was like, it's just, you know, like rudimentaries, and then it didn't grab him, you know, and he quit, and then I was quickly after behind him as soon as I discovered that you had to, like, clean the spit out of your saxophone.
Oh my
First
God.
time my teacher showed me, he was like, I was like, I don't know what's going wrong. It sounds weird. It's not making any noise. And he was like, when's the last time you cleaned this spit thing? And I was like, there's a spit thing? And he was like, yeah, right here. And he fucking look like Ghostbusters too. The slime just comes out. I was just like, I'm good.
All right.
You can have the saxophone. I'm leaving. And then me and Nick, we were both like, yeah, fuck that. We're gonna go skateboard instead.
Dude, see? That's awesome.
Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
I could have been a famous saxophonist.
You could have been. You could have been. I was always wondering why, you know, like during the middle of like band or whatever, everybody's just spitting, you know, like from the instrument, you're like just blowing it out or whatever, you know, like I'm just like,
not for me, homie. Not for
like,
me.
dude, really? That's freaking gross, man. You know, like,
yeah.
I guess it was a thing. I guess
that's a thing. It's a thing, but it's not a thing for me.
Right. Right. So what made you get over to bass? I mean, was that quickly after that, or?
Yeah, it was all kind of around the same time, because I just, at that time in my life, I just was so obsessed with music and, like, learning new bands, and I just had all this energy, you know, and I wanted to channel it into something. And my parents were really cool, because it was like anytime I showed an interest in something like the violin, they were like, here's a violin. And I was like, okay, well, you know, here, try the saxophone thing. And I was like, I'm good. I like the violin. I like strings. So one Christmas, my parents got me an electric acoustic Ovation guitar, because I was, you know, getting into rock and stuff like that. And they were like, maybe he'll like this. You like strings, you know, I'm a left-handed person, but I play right-handed instruments, because it goes back to the violin.
Okay.
Like we were saying, because I'm like ambidextrous. I used to have two different crayon colors in my hand, and I would be coloring two different colors at once on the coloring books in kindergarten and stuff. And then my dad, he always tells this story. I used to have two pencils, and I would start on my paper, and I'd be writing with my right hand or my left hand, and then I'd get to this part of the paper, and I was so lazy, I would just start writing with my right hand. And then my teacher, parent-teacher conference showed up, and she was like, "Look at your son's handwriting." And he was like, "What am I looking at?" And he was like, "Half of it goes that way, and half of it goes that way." And they were like, "Well, what's happening here?" Because, you know, that's kind of weird. And they were like, "Your son is writing half of the paper with one hand and half of the paper with the other hand." And then, so that's when we discovered that I'm ambidextrous. Dude. So when it came time for the violin, they were like, we had to rent one from the school, and they only had like one or two left-handed ones, and it was like more expensive than the right-handed ones. I mean, I think it's like that still with guitars. For some reason, the left-handed are more expensive. So they were like, you're ambidextrous, take the right-handed one. And I was like, sure. So that's how I started fretting with my left hand and bowing with my right.
Gotcha.
So that translated into guitar.
Right.
So yeah, I started playing the electric acoustic, and I was trying to play like I was obsessed with the Chili Peppers, dude. Red Hot Chili
Right.
Peppers was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Flea was like an alien to me, and it still is. Like I
Yeah.
love. He was like my first love of like a musician that I
Yeah.
really gravitated towards, and I was like, I want to do exactly what he does. But I was playing like I was struggling playing with a pick. I didn't realize you're supposed to play a guitar with a pick.
Yeah.
So I'm playing like Red Hot Chili Peppers licks and like Rage Against the Machine licks with my fingers on a guitar.
Dude.
And that was my dad was like, well, if you're gonna play with your fingers and you want to like Flea plays a bass, let's get you a bass. So we traded in the guitar,
Right.
got myself a bass, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it. And I've been a bassist ever since.
So do you not play guitar at all anymore, or?
Not really. Of
No?
all these instruments, these lovely instruments behind me, they're all basses.
That's
My
sick.
my buddy Dino lent me one of his guitars
Yeah.
just to kind of mess around with it, and I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. And he has like these weird like Ormsby guitars that have like the headless guitar, and it was like a 7-string,
Right.
and I'm not proficient at all. I'm still pretty terrible with a pick, even playing with bass.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had it for like a couple months maybe, and I played it like 3 or 4 times. And he's like, "Are you using that thing?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Can you bring it back?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. No problem." Because I don't get it. Like the strings are so tiny for me.
Oh, right. Oh, man. So it's more comfortable playing bass for you compared to guitar.
I got these big fat fingers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah, I'm built for bass. That's what I say. I'm built for bass. You know, I like them big fat strings. I like the way it sounds. Big heavy instrument.
Right. So your journey with getting into bass, did you get lessons at that time, or did you start picking up things?
I don't think I've had
training?
in the 25 years I've been playing bass, I've had a few lessons, like
Yeah.
less than 10. And especially when I was first starting off, it was all just by ear, you know, because back then, you know, you couldn't go online. There was no YouTube. There was
Yeah.
no, like, barely any tablature. If I found tablature, it was like a tab book, you know.
Yeah.
I'd have to go buy, like, you know, Master of Puppets tablature on bass, like, and that's what I did, you know, or like Chili Peppers or stuff like that. Or I would learn it by ear. I used
Right.
to sit in my room, dude, and I had a really great buddy of mine named Gino Morelli, and he
Okay.
was one of my best buddies. And he was like, he couldn't play an instrument to save his life, but he loved like listening to music. So we would sit just like this in like in my parents' office in the house, and I would be there with my bass, and he would be there on like the CD player, right? And back when you or like a tape player, and you have to rewind it, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'd be listening to it, and I'd be sitting there playing, trying to figure it out, and he would be like, "No, no, 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 that's not it. Try it again." And he would rewind it, rewind it, rewind
Right.
it. And he's like, "No, no, no." He's like, that part's right, but the end is you're doing the end wrong. But he never played an instrument in his life. He just also had a really good ear.
Dude.
We would sit in there, dude, for hours, and he would just like kind of be like almost like my DJ when he would just sit back and rewind to the parts and like coach me almost. You know, like I was putting the pen to paper, but he was there like inspiring me and kind of just, it was a really cool relationship, that part. Like that was really one of my favorite parts of like learning music. Very strange, but like
Dude,
it was cool. It was super cool. I love Gene, man. He's still like, you know, I tell that story pretty frequently. And
right.
if it wasn't for him and those hours that we spent, dude, doing that, like it's how I learned all my Rage licks and tons of Chili Peppers. There's this
Dude.
band called Rufio that has like crazy bass lines that like
Right.
he wanted me to learn. You know, he would bring me these songs and be
Right.
like, "You need to try to learn this one or try to play this one." Like all this crazy, like, you know, like kind of pop punky busy
Yeah.
bass. Anything that had busy bass, he would bring it to me and we would sit there and he would like coach me with no musical knowledge, just a killer ear. And he would just coach me on like, you know, that's not right. You know, like try this, try moving that note like one up.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Shout out to Gene, dude.
Dude,
Seriously.
man, that's sick. That's
Yeah.
sick, man. During that time, and talking about you playing Red Hot Chili Peppers and whatnot. Which album were you going through when you were first learning?
It's the one. You know the one.
What,
It's the
Mother's
one.
Milk?
Well, that was a good one, but it
Right.
was for me, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, dude.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I
That's
should
the
have
one.
said
That's the
that.
one, bro. That's the one that has got all the hits. And when I was a kid, that was just you couldn't turn on MTV and then not see that. And like you
Oh,
watch MTV for an hour, you're gonna see, "Suck My Kiss"
yeah,
twice.
yeah,
And that video was so crazy too. I didn't give MTV their flowers earlier when I was talking about the radio and my parents. Like
yeah.
MTV, for those of you that may be too young to know this,
Mm,
MTV was the epicenter of finding new hot music, dude. When
yeah,
music videos used to be like really important, and the
yeah,
premieres, they were like new Red Hot Chili Peppers this
yeah,
Friday, 7 p.m. MTV.
yeah,
Like that was the thing, dude. And I remember sitting there with my folks, and we used to have like a VHS recorder, and we
yeah.
would record like whatever hot singles were coming out. Like I remember when System of a Down dropped Chop Suey.
Oh
There
my
was this
gosh. Yeah.
giant campaign before then, and we were just like, all my friends in school were like, "Oh, like let's get home," and everybody would come to my house because they knew that my parents loved it, and my mom would make food for everybody, and we'd sit there, and I would had my VHS recorder ready, and I had like 5 of my friends in the house, and like as soon as it came on, we recorded it, and I would make like mixtapes of like VHS tapes of like System of a Down, and when Slipknot's Iowa came out and Left
Yeah.
Behind video dropped,
Oh
that was
my
like
gosh.
all of those things, so like that was super important too, man. Like the MTV influence was you and I got to experience something really
Yeah.
special in that era, I think.
No, no. I mean, even going through with the Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, see,
I mean,
exactly.
that to me was big because I was all over the place. I was listening to rock. I was listening to hip hop. I was everything that was on MTV when they were showing music videos. Um,
Rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace to
Those were the
MTV,
days.
man. But man, big influence on like just what music I even listen to. Um,
Same.
but yeah, I totally agree with you on that, man. Like especially those big premieres like that about Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it didn't matter if it was Foo Fighters or
Hmm.
whatever. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it could have been like it could have been any band that was out there. Like of course I'm probably gonna get backlash for this.
Uh-oh.
With the pop music.
Oh yeah.
Like
Dude, Mariah Carey, like she owned MTV back in the day.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
Biggie, any
yeah,
of Puff's stuff,
yeah,
before he got weird, or maybe while he was weird. Who knows? He's been doing that shit forever. But like
man.
those were big ones. Eminem,
Yep.
dude, he had MTV like this, bro. You remember
Uh,
TRL?
yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's
all
that's
that, the Backstreet Boys, all that.
every day I was watching that. I just wanted
TRL,
to see
dude.
what was, like coming towards number one or
Hmm.
whatever. It didn't matter if
Yeah.
it could have been, it could have been, I mean, yeah, it could have been any of those bands or singers or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just wanted to know,
Right,
just to know, so
dude. I remember so vividly the day that Nookie by Limp Bizkit hit number one. I
yeah.
was like jumping off the couches, dude. I was like
Oh,
parkouring in my living room because I loved that song. I loved
yeah,
that band.
yeah.
Uh, and my parents, like, of course, they were like, "What is this? Like, what are you doing?" And for me, dude, when Limp Bizkit's Nookie hit number one on TRL,
Hmm.
wow. Like that
Yeah.
sentence alone, I just grew another gray hair
Oh,
from
right.
like
See.
showing my age right there. Like that's what kids used to get so hyped on, dude. And that was
Yeah.
like super important formative years. Like we had a killer culture back when that was like the norm. And I really miss that.
Absolutely.
Those were good times, man.
Yes,
Good
it
times.
was. Absolutely, man. Man, well, okay. So speaking on that, did you ever think when I guess you were a teenager or whatever, did you think you were ever going to be in a rock band?
Dude, this is crazy because That's a good question, and most folks, have that answer. But for me, it hits so much harder because CKY was my favorite band as a kid. It like
Mm,
changed my life. When I found
really?
CKY, and
Right.
my cousin actually showed me CKY 2K on VHS,
Right.
and he was like, you got to watch this. Like this is so crazy. And then I fell in love with the videos. I found the band. I fell in love with the music. I was like, this band doesn't sound like any band. Because I was like, as a kid, I was, listening to a lot of what my parents were listening to and then what was on the radio. But when I heard CKY,
Yeah.
I was like, this is mine. Like this band is my band. Like
Yeah.
they sound like nobody else. They're doing so much other stuff. Like they were filming everything, so like you could watch like what they were doing. They were releasing new videos all the time and stuff like that. And that music changed my life for sure.
Mm,
So to answer your question, I always wanted to be in a rock band, and I
yeah.
never expected to be in my favorite rock band. But
Dude.
here we are. Like, I just turned 38. I'll be 39 this year.
Yeah.
And when I was 14 or 15, all I wanted in my life was to do anything to do with CKY. And now here we are. Yeah.
Dude, that's
And
so sick.
I got to see you the first show I ever played there
Yeah.
with
Right.
them
Yeah.
at
Oh my
Warped Tour. That
gosh.
was my first show with the band.
I can't
So
believe that.
it's a pretty full circle moment right now. I
Yeah.
actually, what better timing for this right here, It's a really crazy full circle, man. So yeah, I play in my favorite rock band.
Oh man, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Man, I was gonna say something, like because I almost had this not I didn't land in this band, of course, because I always wanted to be, I was a big Kiss fan, of
Oh
course,
yeah. I
and
saw that.
and I just I thought, like one of these days I'm gonna be the drum for Kiss, and of course everybody thought I was crazy, but yeah, I was like what 10 years old or something like that.
Dude,
I don't know,
gotta have
12.
those dreams, dude.
Dude, I was like, okay, first of all, like yeah, I got laid out on the line, to say, okay, you're black, you don't have long hair, and you're not gonna make
Oh
it.
God.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I
okay.
wonder what Gene Simmons would say, right?
Oh man, yeah, that'd be different, like
That'd be sick though.
yeah, it would have been cool, but I mean they picked the right person, which was Eric Carr at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. It was literally a dream, and I kept on dreaming about it. That I was going to be in this huge drum set. It was like over top of me, like
Yeah,
drum
yeah,
kit.
yeah. The
Oh,
cage.
yeah, like this all over. You know what I mean? So I
Uh-huh.
was I don't know, man. I was dreaming. That was the big dream.
Hey, you bring that kid onto some body count stuff,
uh,
dude.
I could because that's what they really want. Like they always want because
Go
normally
big.
everything has to be big.
I
So
know.
like of course, like my kid, when I first got into body count, they wanted because I was only playing like a 5-piece kit when I first got into the band. It's like you need more drums.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh?
It needs to be bigger.
Right, it
Bigger.
needs to be bigger. I was like, the
I
kick
need
drum
3 snare drums.
is right, exactly. Make it
Get some
big.
rototoms over there, 3
Exa-
kicks.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember like first actually touring. We did shows, but actually touring with Ice. Ice sat behind my kit, and Ice sits down behind it, and it just goes like, "You need more drums." I'm like, "Wow, I
Yes,
thought,
sir.
yeah, I'll get on that." So
Yep, yep. That's awesome.
anyway,
Gotta go big, baby.
yeah, have to go big. You know what I mean? So, oh man, oh, geez. I was going to get into something else. Have you ever thought about doing other things besides being a musician at all, or
Yeah.
where were you getting into, man?
You know, I've always like done music in one way or another, but there were definitely times where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna pan out, right?
Right.
So I've kind of, for the most part, always tried to have like a secondary thing going on because, of course, also when I was first starting out, the bands that I was playing with, we weren't making any money. And it was like I would have to basically work when I'm not on tour. I'd have to work to be able to go on tour.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I used to work at a driving range, like a golf place with like putt golf and batting cages and
Yeah.
like driving range. Dude, if it wasn't for that job, I probably wouldn't have made it as a musician, because when I was in my first band, The Absence, I worked at this place in Tampa or Brandon, Florida, called Ace Golf. Shout out to Ace Golf. It's not around anymore, but if it wasn't
Okay.
for that place, dude,
Right.
my boss Frank, he used to let me. He would let me, if I gave him enough advance,
Yeah.
he would let me leave for tour and then come back and have my job. For you
Dude.
guys that don't realize that in this new modern age, like that was essential.
Yeah.
Having something to come home to.
Yeah.
Or it was either that or like delivering pizzas, something that you could always kind of just pick up. So I used to do that job, and I used to, we would book tours, and I'd say like, "Hey Frank, I'm going to be gone for like 5 weeks," and he'd be like, "Okay." But then as soon as what day do you get home? And I'd be like, "This day," and he'd be like, "The next day, schedule me 7 a.m." Gotta get out there and cut the grass, dude. And I did it, bro. And I did that job for probably 10 years, man. And I swear, if it wasn't for that job, I wouldn't have made it
Dude.
in music business. And I did that job all the way up until I actually had to quit because I moved to Denver to play in Havok. So all of those years, that was it, dude. Everybody in Florida
Dude.
and Tampa knows that I was at the golf range all those times.
Dude. We have something in common.
Oh, snap.
Golf.
Oh, yeah?
I also worked on a golf course as well.
Dude, see? I knew it. There was something. The secret is out. Something. I was like, this guy. he's got something I know.
Oh man.
Crazy.
My father was a superintendent on a golf course in Maryland, and of course I always wanted to be in doing the same thing what he was doing, which was golf course maintenance. And I worked there with my brother and my uncle. I worked there for 18 years,
Oh,
and of course I was doing music at that same time as well.
so sick, dude.
And
How rare is that?
it is very rare. And
That's
like your
crazy.
story, I was like, dude,
That
what?
sounds familiar.
Right. I'm like, okay, but I didn't get the chance to like go on tour. My band was much smaller. We did a lot of shows that were in the state of Maryland, or we'd go up between like Pennsylvania, go down to South Carolina and stuff like that.
Right.
But I understand about getting to work early the next day after you have a gig.
Oh, yeah.
And like I could be going like maybe 4 hours or something like that, arrive at that job at like 5:30 in the morning. Of
Cut
course,
the grass.
cutting the grass, cutting the greens,
The greens, dude.
the
Oh my God.
fairways,
Yep.
the tees, like I was all in it. I thought I was going to be like, I'm going to become a superintendent of a golf course. I
Wow.
thought that.
That could have been crazy.
And my boss, I invited my boss to one of my shows in the local area, and I was up for like a raise or whatever, and it was a evaluation or whatever, and I'm like, he's like, dude, so I'm gonna tell you something, and I normally don't tell my employees this at all. He's like, say, I love what you do here at the job. You're one of my best guys here at the golf course, but I think you need to quit.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
whoa.
I was like insulted. I was like, what the? What? My lines ain't straight, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Man, I was all in it, like lines left to right, right to left,
Oh, yeah.
side to side, front
Like
to back.
that cross pattern.
Yeah, I was
I
all
know.
about that, just burning in the lines.
Mhm.
I was all about it. I was like, so what are you trying to say? Like he's like, I think you need to get out of this so you can get into music.
Oh.
You need to figure this out of this whole music thing. I'm like,
Wow.
at
Cool
first
for him.
Yeah. No, if it wasn't for him, his name was Bo.
Shout out to Bo.
Bo, yeah, man. That's right. um, and he was just like, you really need to dig deep into this and figure this out. Call some people and just try to figure this out
Hmm.
and get out there. You need to get out there. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you have the talent. Go out
Oh,
there and just do it. So 2 years later, I eventually of course I left the golf course business after 18 years or whatever, and I went to Guitar Center and got a job out there at Guitar Center. I was like drum manager or whatever, sales manager, or of the store or whatever. And then after that, I decided to have a big up thing, and decided to leave Maryland and get out and go out to California, and went to the Sherman Oaks store.
no way.
Yeah.
So that's when we said Sherman Oaks earlier. You were like,
Yeah.
I know it's Sherman,
Sherman
Oaks.
So yeah,
Ah,
man,
that's incredible.
Yeah, man. So that's
The one right here on Ventura.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That I used to
Incredible.
work at that store before it got remodeled now.
Wow.
Because drums were
Incredible.
upstairs back then, so anyway, yeah. That's
So cool, man. It's so sick that your boss like saw your potential
I
and kind of like was like, yo, you could cut grass the rest of your life if you want, but I don't think that's for you.
yeah. But think of it as this. It's like you can always come back to this. I'm
Right.
like, okay, all right. You have a
Grass
point.
still gonna be here.
Yeah.
Ain't going anywhere.
Right. I was like, if you really want to do this, maintenance, superintendent thing that you really want to do, you can go to school for it. I'm like, not really, huh? Yeah, I'll try the music thing. So, yeah, man. So I went that way.
Good for you, man. That's so sick. That's a killer story, and I can't believe we both used to work in the golf industry. How
Yeah.
crazy is that?
No, it is, man. Do you play golf?
Well, when I was there, obviously I would drive some balls, and I guess it kind of just comes with the territory. But
Right.
yeah, I would love to. A good buddy of mine out here is always trying to get me to play some golf, but all my clubs are still back in Tampa.
Yeah.
But I love it. I think it's super relaxing. It's really like a killer sport to focus,
Yeah.
and I like the whole vibe of it. It's like it's nice and quiet out there. It's nice and sunny. It's beautiful. You hear the birds
Yeah.
and your own thoughts, and you just get in your zone and you do it.
Dude, I wish I was more into it, but I was.
It's hard, bro.
It is hard, and I always shank the ball,
Of
so.
course, so do I. I have a weird thing that I do with golf. I have a lot of weird things being an ambidextrous person to go
Oh, right.
back to
Oh,
that.
man.
So check this out. This is
Okay.
super weird now that we're talking golf
Okay. All right.
and shanking.
Right.
So check this. If I drive, I swing my clubs with both hands, like both directions. So like I drive with my left. So I'll drive with my left and it will go straight as an arrow. If I try to drive with my right, it will go not straight at all. But
Oh,
when I'm doing my short game with irons, if I'm chipping or putting,
yeah.
right-handed. Right-handed. It's all in the
Really?
hips. So weird. I drive straight as an arrow with my left, and then I chip and short game with my right.
Hold on. So
Super
how's that work with the clubs?
I have a left-handed driver. That's it. And I used to make my own clubs too. I used to make my own clubs when I worked there because I would go out, I would drive that stupid thing with the cage over it, right? And they'd pick up all the golf balls and
Yes.
everybody's always aiming at me and I'd always have my friends coming and they'd be like, smoking a blunt in the fucking woods and then they'd come hit me with golf balls. And I would also, I'm not gonna lie, I also used to smoke the blunt with them in the woods.
Right,
So
yeah,
I'm sitting there
yeah.
like with my headphones on, just jamming, and then bam, all of a sudden, like.
Oh,
But I would be out there, and then sometimes like a head, these guys swing so damn hard, the head will break off. And some people just look, they're like, oh, fuck it, I broke my club, got to get a new one.
yeah.
but I would have this like $500 sick ass head. And one of my jobs there was like to reshaft heads.
Yeah.
So I would just bore it out and put a new I would buy like a nice, shaft, which is not nearly as much as the head.
Yeah.
And I basically built my own clubs. All my own clubs back in Tampa, they're all like built by me.
Dude, that's sick.
So, yeah. I know. I need to get them out here because like this is a perfect place to play golf, I wouldn't mind getting back into it.
There you go, man. Oh man, I got my son into it now. My
Nice.
youngest
It's
son.
a cool sport.
Yeah, man, and he's all about it. And of course, on the golf course that I was on, you ever heard of a guy named Kyle Brookshire?
Doesn't
He's
ring
like
a bell.
he is like the long distance golfer right now.
He's like the Happy Gilmore.
Oh my gosh, that dude could hit. But that kid, well, now, I mean, he's like famous now or whatever. But
Killer.
his father used to run the golf course that I used to work on. Was really good friends with my dad. But yeah, his golf course in Crofton, Maryland. And yeah, so now this kid, Kyle Brookshire, is like, yeah, he's like the longest distance, Yeah, check him out, man. Whenever
You know what?
can.
I think I might have heard of that. I don't really follow it too much, but
Right.
like, I see things every once in a while.
That's cool, man. Long hair, you can't miss him.
Sick. Yes,
so,
I
yeah.
definitely know who you're talking about because I
Right.
was like, long hair in golf? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I always had long hair and they were like, it's like a very gentlemanly sport and it must be
Yup.
like trimmed and proper all the time. I was like, this is not for me, dude. I'd be out there in like a, Black Dahlia Murder fucking
See?
cut
Yeah.
off shirt swinging golf clubs and everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing out here?
See? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. I went way to the left.
Dude, I knew we were gonna get into the thick of it today, but I did not expect a segment on golf.
Golf, right? Yeah.
Anything's possible here.
Right. Dude, okay. Let's
That's
get
so
back.
sick.
It is, man. Oh man.
I managed to sprinkle a little bit of rock and roll stories in the golf. I mean, it's great because both of us came from that. That's so unique, I think.
Yeah, dude, man. That's like, man, we got a lot of things in common, man.
I think we need I think that's the universe telling us that we need a jam.
Right. Oh man.
Something about that. We got the rhythm section connection. We got the golf connection. I think, say less.
Dude.
Let's just do it.
All right. Okay. Let's get back to your story. Sorry, man. Listen,
No worries.
I want more people to know about you. Your first band was The Absence.
The Absence. That's right.
That was your first band in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did I is that more on the death metal side or what?
Yeah, you like melodic death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of In Flames influence, like Arch
Okay.
Enemy kind of stuff. The Swedish sound, kind of, but like death metal because we're from Tampa.
Right.
Yeah, we did. I've done 5 albums with the band, and I started. They did an album actually. I joined in right towards the end of their first album that they released in 2005.
Right.
And I was playing in like local bands and stuff like that. So I was kind of like learning the world a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends were like, have you heard of The Absence? You love In Flames. You love like Arch Enemy. You love all this, melodic death metal. Have you not heard The Absence? They're from here in Tampa. And I hadn't heard of it. And I was like, what the hell? And they were like, they had this album, From Your Grave.
Right.
Was the first one they released on Metal Blade 2005.
Oh.
And my buddies handed it over to me and they were like, you got to listen to this. And I was like, oh my God, they're from here. And my buddy, Danny Dabrowski, he was like, dude, the singer works at FYE in the mall. Like we could go hang out with him. And I was like, what? So his name was Jamie Stewart. And
Okay.
I ended up going with my buddy, Danny, who also worked at the mall. and I met Jamie, and we like kind of all started hanging out a bit. And he was in the skateboarding culture. I kind of was too, and they were like in a punk rock scene kind of, but he was in a death metal band. He was
Yeah.
kind of like the odd man out,
Yeah.
and I was like, I loved it. So we kind of became friends through that, and we'd skate and stuff like that. And back then, I wasn't really playing much bass. I was so obsessed with Children of Bodom that I had a delusion of grandeur, thinking that I could play guitar like Alexi Lyle.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing bass for a minute, and I tried my hand again at electric guitar and like keyboard because I loved the sounds that they were making. I was like, you can make like metal with keyboard, because Children of Bodom was doing that, like
Yeah.
doing melodies and harmonizing with keyboard and guitar. So I was like, that's insane. I tried that. So when I met Jamie, that's what I was doing at the time. He didn't know that I had any history playing bass. So one night, over a few blunts in the garage and playing Mario Kart, they were like, let's jam. You got like some acoustic guitars and stuff? I was like, yeah, I got a couple of guitars, So I had a 12-string acoustic, a regular acoustic, and an acoustic bass. And I, handed out the guitars, and I was playing bass. And Jamie was like, wait a second. You play bass? And I was like, I am much better of a bass player than I'm a guitar. Like, I'm trying this guitar thing, and it's not really panning out much for me. And so I started playing Anesthesia by Metallica on bass.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what? Like, we need a bass player. The Absence needs a bass player. What are you doing? Like, learn these 3 songs, and we're going to rehearse, next weekend. Come learn these songs, come to rehearsal.
Right.
And if you nail them, you got it. We got a tour coming up, but he didn't tell me what the tour was. He's like, we're going on tour. We got this new album coming out. Learn these 3 songs. He gave me the songs. I learned them. Went to rehearsal. Did it, got the gig, I guess. I was barely 19 at the time, and all the guys were in their 30s already.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like way the young guy. And I got the part, and it was like a week later that I found out that the tour that they had booked was Metal Blade 25th anniversary tour. I actually have the flyer right here behind me over here. It was Cannibal Corpse, The Black Dahlia Murder, Red Chord, Goat Whore, and The Absence. All North America. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That was it. So I basically I had braces when I tried out. I had my braces on, and like I was scheduled like a week before we left for the tour. I got my braces off, and I went on tour with The Absence, and the rest is history.
Dude, that's sick, man. How long were you in that band?
I joined in 2007.
Right.
And we did that tour, and we did an album called Riders of the Plague. It was also on Metal Blade. I've got them hanging up on the wall here. And then another album we did in 2010 called Enemy Unbound. And those were the 3 Metal Blade ones were From Your Grave, Riders, and Enemy Unbound. We did that one in 2010. And then we toured for a couple years after that. And I think 2012, the band kind of had like, there was a lot of internal drama, and like the guitar players were very problematic, and we were having issues with the label, and the guys like, it was a mess.
Yeah.
So the band kind of dissolved and faded away. And at that same time, we had just toured, The Absence had just toured with a band from Denver called Havok. And we met at this tiny little bar in Jersey called the Championship Bar and Grill. And it was like a venue of like maybe not even 100 people. And they had like chicken wings and a bar and stuff like that. And I remember The Absence played the night before, and then we had a day off, and our guitar player had family in Jersey.
Right.
But we loved the bar so much that we went there the next day, and we were like, yeah, fuck, let's just get some beers and some chicken wings and see whatever.
Yeah.
So the tour that we saw the next day happened to be Havok and this band Wretched, like another death metal band. And I saw Havok, and I remember sitting there eating my garlic parm wings, looking at them, and like they bust Havok's playing, and I'm like, this band's pretty crazy. And their bass player had like this anatomical skeleton hand, and he was like shredding Fender looking ESP, and I was like, this is sick. And they busted into a cover of Slayer, and I was like, oh my god, this is now my favorite band.
Right.
So after they done playing, I was like, dude, tell me everything about you guys, what the hell's going on. And me and my buddy Pete Weber, drummer extraordinaire, I'm sure you know and love Pete.
Yes,
that's
Peter's
how
the
we met,
man.
was that night. And then we were like smoking some weed in the van, and just like they were like, yeah, we're from Denver, we do this and that. And I was like, dude, I love you guys, this is incredible. So we met then, we kept in touch. Then we ended up touring together in 2010 or 11, I believe, with a band called Malevolent Creation and Full Blown Chaos. So it was a really crazy tour package. But we toured together then, got to know the guys, and then that was when the absence was kind of like amping down, kind of ramping down, and kind of a lot of drama. And then Havok was like doing the exact opposite. They were about to release an album called Time Is Up. That's like their seminal album. And I wanted to do anything. I wanted anything to do with Havok because I saw the trajectory. I saw the guys were like super cool. I loved hanging with them. So when the absence kind of stopped, Dave asked me like, well, we're about to get super busy and I want a front of house engineer. Like, do you know how to do that? And I was like, I don't. And he was like, I can teach you. So he flew me to Denver and he taught me how to mix audio, like front house, like to man a desk.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is how I want my band to sound. This is how I want my band to be mixed. Like he taught me exactly how to do it. He taught me how compression works. He taught me how to, do everything. And I went on tour with them, mixing them for a tour. We did 63 shows in 65 days. And I learned how to mix audio. And it was right at the end of that tour, they were having problems with their bass player at the time. Right. And he ended up leaving the band, and they were like, well, you play bass. Do you want to play in Havok? And I was like, absolutely. So I joined the band in 2013. I moved to Denver, quit my job at the golf range, and like packed everything into like this big backpack and a couple like Tupperwares. Yeah. I moved to Denver, and Havok had like a band house where everybody lived in the same house. And we wrote the album that would become Unnatural Selection. And Unnatural Selection did pretty well. It was the first time that I charted any band on Billboard charts. And it was mixed by Terry Date.
No way.
Absolutely. So that's how we got to meet Terry. And he flew. Well, we were in Seattle, and he was doing the mix. So he invited us to the studio, and we got to give him like our notes and stuff, and we got to listen on his console, and it was an incredible experience working with him too, because we were basically in the process of mixing the album while we were on tour. So he would send us like mixes and bounce them out to us, and Dave would be like, everybody in the van. And we'd listen to it like in the van, and then we'd listen to it in our headphones on our thing, and we'd write our notes and send them back to Terry, and he'd be like, cool. And then, later in the day, he'd be like, I made the changes. Right. And we basically mixed that album with Terry Date while on tour. And I love the record. It came out super sick. It sounds really great. It's I think it's now number 2 on the best sounding bass performance I have on an album for me.
Really?
So, thanks to Terry.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, okay.
Thanks to Terry Date.
Can I explain people who Terry Date is?
Please.
Terry Date is a big time producer that used to produce Deftones and Pantera.
Alice in Chains,
Soundgarden,
a couple bands you might have heard of.
Just a few. Yeah. Just a few of the bands. Big bands, nothing small.
One of the best producers in the 90s. You could go ahead and say that, I would say.
Dude. Man, I love his work.
Terry's an absolute monster.
Dude, I didn't know he did your guys' album. I didn't know that.
That's right.
Dude, that's sick.
Yep. And it sounds incredible. Like sonically, Unnatural Selection. There's a song on there. It was a big single, our first single, called Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death. Mm-hmm. That was like our flagship single for that record. And so I guess I can continue to segue into the next thing. We released that album, and that song specifically, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, it's like very politically charged lyrics and stuff like that. It's got a cool video. That single got the attention of Mr. Max Cavalera.
Oh!
And so he really dug that. He was going in press when people were asking, what do you listen to? He's like, this band Havok is really killer. They got this song called Unnatural, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, super killer. Like, so cool, up and coming band, man. Trash metal, man. So I've got a pretty good max. When you live on
Man,
a
you
bus with somebody
do.
for 10 years, you absorb it through
Oh my
osmosis.
gosh, you sound just like him.
Oh, it's killer, bro. Killer. I love Max. He's super, super cool, dude. Um, so he loved the band and he invited us on tour, and it was just Soulfly and Havok direct support, and we toured the United States. And I got to be great friends with all those guys
Yeah.
and Glow. And within the third day, like I already knew the bus combination to the door. And as soon as we'd park, I'd go right onto the bus, and I'd find Zion, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, let's smoke one, right?"
Right. Yeah.
And he'd be like, "I already got one rolled," and we were just, dude, it was super awesome camaraderie right off the bat. I love Z. We still talk almost every day.
Dude, tell
Yeah,
my son
big
what's
love.
up.
I
Yeah.
will, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves you too. He
Oh
loves you too.
man.
So we got, that's how I met the Soulfly camp, and then the Havok thing. We kept touring. We did a whole world tour, like basically DIY. We hit every single market, like South America for the first time, Europe a couple times. We went to Russia. We went to all of the Pacific Rim in Asia and Japan and stuff like that. So we went all over the place, Canada, US, a ton of times through that record cycle. And then when that cycle kind of fizzed out after about 2 years, 2015, Soulfly was actually looking for a bass player. And I was kind of ramping down with Havok. We were taking a break after that huge campaign that we just did. We were about to start writing a new album. And Tony Campos from, at the time, Soulfly, just left to go play with Fear Factory and Ministry.
Oh.
And they were like, Soulfly, I mean, I had been in touch with Gloria and everybody. So when that happened, Glow reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we've got this tour in the fall 2015. Would you be interested in like learning some of these new songs and learning some songs and like, stepping in and playing bass on the tour?" And I was like, absolutely. Sounds like a great time. And so they gave me the new album. I learned the whole album. I was on tour with another band called Arsis. It's like a death metal band, and super crazy tech death. And I was just kind of feeling my, because I was in so much like tour mode. We did with Havok, I think we did like 500 shows in a year and a half, maybe, 2 years, maybe. It was insanely busy. And so I was just in tour mode. So I didn't want to stay at home. So if like a band needed a front of house, I went out and I mixed a band called The Agonist. They're good friends of mine from Montreal. I mixed them, and then exactly from that tour, I had to leave a couple days early, and I started playing in a band called Arsis. That was a band that I loved, that I had buddies with. So I did that, and that's when Glow asked me, like, "Do you want to do the Soulfly thing?" So, there was a lot of, actually, there was a bunch of tension going with the band Havok as well.
Right.
Signing to Century Media, and a bunch of things got a little squirrely. So I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me anymore. And basically we went separate ways. And the day that I finished with Havok, I called Gloria an hour later, and I was like, "Hey, so I have all the time in the world now. If you want to, do this Soulfly thing, like to jam, like I can come out and rehearse whenever." And she's like, "Well, shit. If you're not playing in Havok, like we need a full-time bass player. Do you want to just play bass in Soulfly?" And I was like, "Yep." Yep. So that's what happened. And I was on a plane like a couple weeks later. I moved out to Arizona, and I lived in Max's mountain house with Zion and his brother, his drum tech Jason, and I learned like probably 50 of Max's songs between Sepultura and Soulfly, and we went on tour, and I lived out there for about 3 months.
Did you really?
In the end of 2015, in the beginning of 2016, and then that's what started a 10-year adventure with Max and his family. And it's so crazy that everything kind of piggybacks, Like I was on tour with Absence, and I met Havok, then I was on tour with Havok, then I met Soulfly, and then I'm on tour with Soulfly. It's like pretty crazy.
Wow. Dude, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, man.
Long-winded story, but that's my last 15 years as a musician in a nutshell.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great story, man.
Yeah.
That's a really, really great story, man.
Yeah.
And of course, I know that went into the Cavalera brothers, and
Yep.
like how was that?
I got goosebumps just now
Oh, really?
because truly, like, this one hits deep for me because Sepultura was one of my, like, I liked stuff like Rage, I liked the Chili Peppers, I liked,
Yeah.
Metallica and bands like that, and I was getting into it. My buddy, the same day that I learned who Pantera was, I learned who Sepultura was.
Yeah.
And my life changed after that. My buddy Brad actually was like, we were about to go to Ozfest, and we skipped school, and I like stayed the night at his house, and he had like bunk beds, so we were watching, like, he had like a bunch of music videos and stuff, and he had Pantera home videos, and he was
Oh,
like, "Do you
yeah.
know about Pantera?" And I was like, "No," and he was like, "You're about to learn."
Yeah.
So he put on home videos, and he was like, "You like Jackass, and like you like heavy metal, like this is that together."
Yeah.
So I saw
Yeah.
home videos, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is incredible!" And then like we
Yeah.
ordered some pizza or whatever, and then after that, we watched the home videos. We stayed up like all night, and he was like, "Oh man, yeah, Pantera, that's super cool." And I was like, "Yeah, Pantera's so sick." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, what about Sepultura? Have you heard about Sepultura?" And I was like, "Nope." And he was like, "All right, well." And then there was like a DVD. What was that called? Of them performing. I forget what it was called right now. I'm having a brain fart. But there was like a Under Siege.
Oh,
Under Siege by
okay.
Sepultura was like
Yeah.
a live performance of them,
Yeah.
and I saw that, and I was like, my 16-year-old brain was just blown that
Yeah.
day. I learned Pantera and Sepultura, both
Wow.
brother bands.
Yeah.
And he was like kind of obsessed with that. And he was a drummer as well. Like a lot of my best friends are drummers. I don't know why that is.
Hey, man.
Got it pretty
Hey.
cool, I guess. So yeah, he taught me all that stuff, and
Oh.
so I fell in love with the record Arise. And
Ooh,
the next day, I called my record shop and I was like, "Do you have this album Arise?" And they were like, "No, we can order it for you." And I was like, I swear to every day I called them and I was like, "Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it
Right.
here yet?" And they were like, "No, no, no." Finally, they were like, "It's here." So I rode my bike to the record store and I bought Arise by Sepultura
Oh.
on a CD. And yeah, that was a super important record for me. That's when I think I kicked my metal world. That was it. That was like the switching of gears. Like, I'm a metal guy now. I love
Yeah.
Pantera. I love Sepultura. And then
Yeah.
I started just going into from there.
Yeah.
So to be able to play with the brothers that wrote that stuff and those videos that I saw was so incredible. And also, even to make it even deeper, they recorded Arise and Beneath the Remains, well, with the same producer, but they recorded Arise with Scott Burns in Tampa at Morrisound Studios. So me being a Tampa boy,
Yeah.
and loving Sepultura, and those being like the seminal albums for me, like to get the opportunity to play those albums with those guys, like I had to bring my A game, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting the chance to play the albums that changed my life with the guys that wrote them. The tours were incredible. The first tour we did with Cavalera, the Cavalera project, was in Russia. Actually, we did almost 3 weeks in Russia with the Cavalera Beneath the Remains Arise project, and we slept on a train for a few days, and we went to all these Russian cities that I can't even pronounce the name of. We were there for a long time.
Wow.
We were there for a long time.
Yeah.
And the most extensive tour or time I ever spent in Russia. And that's when we started. So that went so well, we ended up making it a whole world tour out of it. We did Australia, we did South America a few times. North America finally was the last market to get it. I think we did some in Europe as well. It was a whole world tour we did from Beneath the Remains and Arise. And then we later on, COVID hit in the middle of all that.
Man. Oh.
And at one point, I was doing 3 bands at once. I was doing this album right here called Gift for the Obsessed by The Absence. I was playing in The Absence still.
Yeah.
Was doing that album. I was playing in Soulfly, and we were just released an album called Ritual that was produced and mixed and mastered by Josh Wilbur. We recorded that out here in LA in Orange County. And then also touring Beneath the Remains Arise from Sepultura with the Cavalera project. And at one point, I think it was 2018, the busiest year of my life, I did a tour. I did 3 tours with all 3 bands, 3 different continents in less than 30 days.
Holy crap.
So I started with the Absence, and we did North America with the Absence, and I had to leave the tour early in Canada, in Toronto. I flew home and flew my buddy out, Jesse Jolly, to replace me and finish out the tour. I flew home for less than 24 hours, repacked my bags, flew to Guadalajara, and did South America with Cavalera for the first time, which was insane. Then after that tour, and then I flew home for another 24 hours, and then I flew out to Europe to do a festival run with Soulfly. And the first show was like in Poland with Slipknot and In Flames, this big festival in an arena. So, and that was all within 30 days. That was the most insane month of my life.
Dude. Oh my god. Oh my gosh, man. Wow. Wow, Mike.
I just grew another gray hair telling that story. That was a hell of like heavy times.
Oh wow.
But yeah, long story short, playing with the brothers was really incredible. You know, I'm very thankful to have been part of that, to play Beneath the Remains and Arise as a Tampa native, and those albums that were formed, you know, by another Tampa native in Tampa. Yeah. So yeah, that's a really cool. It was an incredible part of my career for sure.
I'm still blown away of your story of listening to those 2 powerful bands talking about Pantera and Sepultura during that time. And wow, man. There was a question. It was another question I had for you around that time, and it was about the home stories of when you were watching the Pantera stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw that you were at a Pantera show recently, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Would you think of
the new iteration?
The new, like with Charlie and Zakk Wylde. How was that? And I wanted to get your honest opinion on that.
I got you. Yeah. So it's a loaded question.
Yeah, sorry.
Because no worries. I got all the answers and nothing but time.
Right.
I never got a chance to see Pantera as a kid. I never got to see Dimebag Darrell ever. The only unfortunate experience I ever had with him was I got to visit his grave back in 2015.
Yeah.
And I fortunately did get to meet Vinnie Paul once. He came out to a Soulfly show in Vegas, and he was super nice, and that was really cool for me.
Yeah.
But I never got to see the band in its heyday. Never, you know.
Oh my God.
I'd gotten to hang out with Phil a couple times because, you know, he was doing his band, Phil up in Somo and the Illegals.
Yeah.
And we toured, we played a bunch of festivals together in Europe. And I got to meet Phil, and he was always really cool. But I never got to see the band all these years. And now when they announced that they were doing this new iteration of the band, there was all these rumors, forever. Remember, it was like all this big secret, and everybody's like, it's happening. It's not happening. It's never going to happen. It's happening next year. Like, get ready.
Yeah.
And so it happened. And I, on a side note, am a humongous Zakk Wylde fan. I love his work with Ozzy. I just love him as a dude. His social media presence is fucking hilarious. He's super nice guy.
It is.
And like, so I love Zakk. My favorite Ozzy album is the first album that Zakk played on. And it's No Rest for the Wicked. You know, songs like Miracle Man and Tattooed Dancer and all that stuff. I love that record.
Yeah.
I love his playing, and I love what he brought to the band. And so I was like, all right, dude. I didn't get to see him with Dime, but like Zakk is the dude that could do it. And Dime and Zakk were really good buddies. So it's like, you got the blessing. Everything's cool. Charlie Benante is an incredible drummer too.
Yes, he is.
And so I got to see him. I've seen them now 3 times. The first time I got to see them, Soulfly opened for them at a festival in Portugal called Evil Live Festival. And it was an arena. And it was Soulfly, Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen.
Okay, yeah.
Alter Bridge.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And Pantera and Vended.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
cool, a very eclectic fest. You know how those European festivals, they just mix it
I
all up, and
I
I love
that's
that.
I love that too.
Yeah,
I
me
wish
too.
the states would do that, man. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
me
man.
too. So it was
Oh
like a grab bag of all kinds of different like rock and roll, heavy metal,
yeah,
and so we got done playing, and it was like there was a ton of energy in the room.
Y-
Max in Portugal, like when Max says jump, you fucking
oh
jump, and that
my
whole place was jumping. We were
gosh.
like the energy was unbelievable, and then
Mm,
Pantera went on, and it was I think the first time a lot of us had seen it. It was very early in the tour cycle of them bringing back the band,
yeah.
and we were invited to stand on the side of the stage. All the bands had played. We had like spots on the stage, and we were standing in Rex's world. And
Mm,
I remember
okay.
them going out, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then the cloth falls, and it's like, "Goof,
Yeah. Oh, it
I
started
saw
out
that
with new
first time.
level.
Oh yeah, dude. And
It
like my
started out
whole
with
body
that.
like went numb. I was just like, "Oh shit!" So we were watching that, and Zach's over there doing this thing, and I was like, "This is unbelievable." And then they played Cemetery Gates, and they did like the tribute to the brothers, and I don't think there was one dry eye in that whole building of thousands, tens of thousands of people.
I'm sure there wasn't.
Nobody kept it together. Like there was no way. Like there was this big, like beautiful video that they played in the beginning, and I was just like, this is incredible. I was like bawling my eyes out, 'cause
Wow.
especially like I never got to see these guys, and here I am appreciating and experiencing their music for the first time without them, but it was still almost like they were still with us, and
Yeah.
that was really, really powerful. So to answer your question, I don't know,
Oh,
I've seen them 3 times since then,
yeah.
and I love it every time, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think it's really killer because of guys like me and kids like me that didn't get to see Pantera, well, now's your chance, dude. And
Yeah.
it isn't what it was then, but it's still great to see those songs live. The music is so powerful. You can't just keep it in a box forever. Like
Nope.
it's a celebration, and it's to be appreciated. So I think it's a really cool thing that they're doing.
Oh my
I'll be
gosh,
at every show.
dude.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, E-Record Studio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their e-record sessions on social media. Visit ERS on erecordstudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
I had the pleasure of seeing the original Pantera, what, 5 times.
Jealous.
And of course there was a club called in Baltimore called Hammerjacks. And of course, me and my brother, we're both musicians, and of course, we're on the side. There's a top row. Um, and you ever played in DC a place called the 930 Club?
And as soon as you said DC, I was like, here it comes, 9:30.
Right.
That's where everybody plays. That's the
Right.
spot in
Right.
DC.
You're right. So this was like closer to the
So you
actual
were up in
band.
the mezzanine, up
Yes,
on the side. Yeah,
on the side. We're on the side where, of course, where Dimebag was.
unbelievable.
He noticed. This is how I feel, because I'm more of a guitar guy, not a drum guy. I was more
Awesome.
about, yeah.
I did
I
not
was.
know that.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Okay. So I'm more of a guitar guy. I Oh my gosh, this dude blessed us, man. Um uh just watching him, he noticed me and my brother were there because we're the only really two black people or in that spot.
unreal. Yeah.
And this dude, we're on the side, we're watching him. We're looking down at him. He's like, "Oh yeah, look." And he's just ripping.
Check this out, right? You want to
Yeah,
see something? Yeah.
right. I'm like,
I'll show you
I'm like,
something.
dude, you're the man. Oh man, like, oh man, so sick. Um, but he did that twice to us, me and my brother. And I think one of those shows, Biohazard, was opening or whatever.
Killer.
But I mean, it was an awesome show. But still, and got the pleasure of meeting all those guys, especially Dimebag. Dimebag, I think he was the first guy that we met at this meet and greet type thing. It was at a record store in Maryland, and that dude was just open arms of like, "What's up, man?" Give us a handshake and whatever. I mean, that dude, legend.
Yeah. He
I
always made time for everybody, which
Oh
is
my,
why he's such a legend, dude. Like he gave everybody a piece of the time, and the attention. And that's
yeah,
why everybody that has ever met him or, seen him, they hold on to that memory so deeply because it's like he's a dude.
yeah. That's the reason why I always thought, I didn't, like even back then in the late '90s or whatever, I didn't think I would be here, playing with a rock band or whatever. But I always said to myself, I was like, dude, I want to be like that dude. Just
It's a
be
good way to
cool
be.
to just to being cool with people and I love that, and I take that to heart, like, what that dude did for me and my brother, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I would never, like take that for granted ever, but yeah,
Yeah.
just to go inside with your story, man, that's with Pantera, man. I just the power of them playing as a band when in their heyday,
Unbelievable.
powerful.
Dude, one thing comes to mind when you say the power. The videos from Moscow, dude. When
Oh,
they play Primal Concrete Sledge.
yes.
Primal Concrete Sledge.
Yeah.
Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was
Yeah.
the video. That was one of the videos that my buddy Brad showed me. He was like, check this out. He's like, because, Metallica also played. He's like,
Yeah.
Metallica, yeah. But look what Pantera did. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. Dude, that's almost the same thing. Of course, with Sepultura with their first video they had on Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
Did that for me. I'm like, who is this? Like,
Yeah.
dude, this is different. You
Yeah.
know? Um,
What was that one? Roots? That
yes.
Roots? With the claymation?
No, 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 no. It was before that. No,
It
no.
might have been Chaos, something from
It
Chaos
was. It
AD.
was. It was.
A big
Um,
single from that was probably Territory.
was it?
What for
Okay.
territory?
Yeah. That was it. That was it. That
With a
was
cool
it.
drum.
Yeah. Yep.
Of course.
Did you
Killer.
play that with them?
Yeah, I got to play that with them a few different times. With the brothers and with Max. We used to play it sometimes with Soulfly, and then of course we would dust it off. So we would do like Beneath the Remains
Yeah.
first. Then we
Yeah.
would take a small intermission and then do a rise. And then at the end of that, we'd kind of like pick and choose like a couple of those, like Territory and maybe a few covers like, Motorhead or maybe like the Ramones or something kind of crazy. Or when we were in Australia, we did, I think it was Dirty Deeds by
Oh,
AC/DC. Like,
really?
no, whatever territory we were in, we would
Yeah.
pick like a famous song to cover from like the band there. So,
That's cool. That's really cool, man. Oh
yeah.
man. Okay, dude, that's so sick.
Yeah. Those were
Man,
good times, man.
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were, man. Man, during that time, let's talk about your bass, man. Did
I
you
love it.
get you got a signature bass
That's right.
from ESP?
That's right.
Dude, yeah.
Of all of those stories, that's my favorite one. Yeah, I got a couple of them back
Uh,
here.
do,
It's all I play these days, pretty
do,
much.
do you mind grabbing one of yours? Do you mind? Dude, can you explain that? Like that
Of course.
that whole thing. How did this all come about, man?
Well, it's all just, dude. It's a story all the way from the beginning. When I joined the Absence, those guys were playing ESPs, and I was like, I love the guitars. I wanted to be on the team, So the guitar player got me the contact, and I signed my first deal with ESP back in 2000 and I think it was the end of 2007 or 8. I think it was 8 by the time we finally penned the deal. They had sent me some basses for that Metal Blade tour, and then I finally penned the deal in the beginning of 2008. And my rep at the time was a gentleman by the name of Alan Steelgrave, and he was the A&R guy forever. Rest in peace, Alan. He got me my first deal ever. My day-to-day guy was Mark Maw, and that's who I talked to anytime I needed anything. And I don't know how many ESPs I have. I'm a very loyal endorsee.
There you go.
So when a company has faith in me, I'm never gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been with ESP since then, and it's been, well, let's see, 2008. It's been 18 years now, and I have so many amazing basses from them. All the ones on the wall that you see there are all ESPs that I played. That was the one I used to play in Havok all the time.
Okay.
It's like a Fender P bass kind of style with a maple neck. I called it Old Yeller because it's yeller. It's yellow, and it's a yeller. It's a loud one. And so I have all of them. Actually, it's kind of like the rings of a tree if you look at this. So it's like started with Havok, and my absence basses are so old that they're still back in Tampa. I've got at least twice this many back at my dad's place in Tampa still.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. About 18 years I've been here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's the Havok era, and then like the F series, the red one. You can't see because it's blurry, but started playing the F series back when I joined Soulfly.
Right.
And then they created this series called the B series, and that's all of these lovely like wood colored ones back here. And that's when I really fell in love with the basses, because like I was always kind of trying to find my identity by trying out different, ones. I had like I always loved, guys like Tim Comerford from Rage and of course Flea. They were all playing P basses. Yeah. So I saw like a PJ like hybrid bass, and that's what I started with Havok. But that didn't really work for Soulfly. So I needed something different, and then that's when I started playing the F series, which is kind of like what Tom Araya played in Slayer. Yeah. And it was like a 4-string, and then I was like, well, Soulfly was playing like in B and A standard, like way low. Yeah. Usually you would use a 5-string for that. So I tried with 5 strings, and I was like, I don't really like it. Like it's not really me. And I was trying to find my identity with a bass. So they finally came out with these B series back in 2017, and my longtime rep, one of my good buddies, Tony Rouser, he was like, yo, dude, we got these new basses, the B series. Check them out. I think they might be like what you're looking for. And he was right, dude. So I started playing all these are the ones that I used to play with Soulfly and the Cavalera project. All of those 4 that are right there have toured the whole world with me. And I did the Ritual album and the Totem album with those basses by Soulfly. I did a bunch of session work, which I'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
Those. And so basically, I think around, it must have been like the 14-year anniversary of me playing the basses. Soulfly was super busy. Cavalera was obviously doing what we were doing. And I was like, hey, man, do you think I could I've been with the team for a while. I love this bass, but there's a few things that I would change. You think I could get like a custom made? And Tony was like, yeah. So I got approved for a custom, and I basically took everything that was with the B bass and I stripped it down to work like exactly what I needed, and no extra, nothing extra, exactly what I needed, so I could just turn it on and go, and specs that I wanted to make like a road-worthy tank of a bass that I could just punish with all of these crazy tours that I was doing. And that's what I got my custom, which is also right back there, my first ESP custom that I made, that got made in Japan. And the guys at ESP, they dug the design so much that Tony hit me up one day and he was like, yo, so the guys really dig the bass, and we're going to make it your signature. So I got my signature bass, and so we started working on the production model. So I have a prototype back there. I think this actually might be the prototype.
Really?
Yeah. And
dude,
what I love...
That wood finish.
Yeah, buddy.
dude.
It's like a fine piece of art, you know.
Yeah.
It's called sandblasted. There's a sandblasted finish. So they take the bass and they hit it with a gun full of sand, and it basically like it's like erosion, you know.
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 years worth of erosion by wind and sand, but like with a gun. So it's really amazing. You get to see all of the pores of the wood,
All right.
you know.
Yeah, that's what I
in
love
there.
about it.
Here, let me see if I can get a nice. There we go.
There you go.
What's incredible about that is that obviously every piece of wood is completely different. So it's like if I have 1,000 of these, not one of them is the same as the other. It's a fingerprint. It's like everybody, it's got its own fingerprint. So the wood grain spacing is a little bit different than everything. And, you know, sometimes it gets nice and coupled together so it looks nice and thick, or sometimes you'll get like a big flat part. No two basses are the same. And I think that's so cool because every player is the same way too. Unique.
Yeah.
So I got rid of a bunch of the extra knobs that I didn't need, and it's just basically, I didn't need a pickup selector. I just need a volume and a 3-band EQ to do like slight adjustments on the fly. And so, yeah, we basically did that with the production model, and the guys at ESP were like, we have an idea. Since basically I play like 5 strings air, like range in my basses.
Yeah.
They were like, we should extend the scale length 1 inch so that you have a lower scale length like a 5-string bass, but it's a 4-string. And they had never done that before. So it's a 36-inch scale length on a 4-string bass. I think it's the first of its kind, at least through ESP.
Right.
So for the modern bass player playing in all of these really low tunings, like B standard, which would be like a 7-string guitar, is BEAD low. You could do that, but even lower, and it can handle it because it's basically like a baritone bass. You know, you have a baritone guitar for lower tunings.
Yes,
it's like a baritone bass. So if you're playing in like F sharp or something like that, it'll handle it super well. It's got a string through bridge that you can, you know. If you got a really long, see what I'm saying? It goes, the strings will come directly through there, come out through the bridge. It helps with tuning and intonation and just sustain and everything. So
I was about to ask you, that's a bolt on, right?
Yeah, it's a 6-bolt pattern.
On
the back
really?
Right here. Yeah, 6. So it's really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love this thing. And it's just such a dream come true to be able to design a bass that's like exactly meant for your needs.
Right.
And I played, I've been playing with these things. I took the ESP out. I played that with Cavalera because it's tuned to E standard, and it's got a brass nut, so I can't really change the tuning of that because brass is like once you file it down to the spot it needs to be, it's always gonna be there. So I used that one for Cavalera, and then I've used these for Soulfly ever since. I think the bass was released in 2022, or 2023. I should know that, but I'm having a brain fart right now.
It's all right.
So yeah, anytime I've been playing live or any recordings since then, I've been playing with my own signature ESP bass.
Dude, a question for you though. Did you get your choice of pickups on that, or?
Dude, I got my choice of everything. I got to choose the wood that they made the neck out of. I got to choose the wood of the fretboard. It's called Palfaro. No, I'm sorry, that was the fretboard for the other one. This is a Wingate and Purple Heart.
Oh, Purple Heart.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So there's 2 little inserts of Purple Heart, and the rest are Wingate. And it's got the dual truss rod inside so that you can adjust the neck bow or both directions. I got Nordstrand big split pickups, which I loved. That was the big sell for me when I went to the B series.
Right.
Was that they had these Nordstrand big split pickups, and they're so good, and they're so like. They're very formable. Like I can roll off a few different things and it can sound like nice and clean. But if I, blast my volume and put some distortion in front of it, it's like the meanest bass tone ever. It's super versatile. Those pickups are super versatile. This bass is like It's an incredible studio bass because you can make it sound like whatever you want. It can handle any tuning that you put on it. It stays in tune all the time. It's a bass player's bass. It's a working man's bass, and it just looks amazing. Look at it, doesn't it?
Does.
Look at that thing. Look at that. Get you some of that. Get in there,
dude.
No,
Is that active or passive?
it's active. Yeah.
Active. Okay, dude. Man, I want to. I like to hear your tone just by yourself.
If I mean, I could plug in. It would take me a minute, but it's heavy.
Right.
It sounds good unplugged, which is
Yeah,
like
it does.
It's not bad. It needs new
Man.
strings. I'm gonna restring my bass before I stream later tonight.
All right, that's cool, man.
But yeah,
Dude.
it's incredible, man. I've got a few of them now. I think I have like 3 or 4 of them behind me, just different tunings, and I play with them now in Soulfly too. I mean, I started with them Soulfly, but I play with them in CKY, and it was like a seamless transition, you know.
Dude, man.
Still handles like rock and roll, you know.
Right. Dude, sick bass, man.
Yeah, I think you'd dig it. Next time we have some time together, if you're in town,
Yeah.
we'll do something. We'll do something
Okay.
cool.
Dude, I just want to hear your tones, man. You know, like
Sonic Temple, let's hang.
oh yeah.
I'll see you at
yeah.
Sonic Temple.
Okay,
I'll have my
okay.
rig backstage, and we can
Okay.
do like I'll let you, I'll let
Yeah.
you touch it.
Right.
You can play it. I'll let you do it. All right.
Sick,
You'll
dude.
dig it, man. It's a killer.
Man.
It's a killer machine.
Yeah, it is, man. That's beautiful, man. I love that wood finish on there like that, and
Yeah.
seeing those grains on there like that, and not every bass looks like that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
They're all different. Like I think I have 4 of them behind me.
Really?
And like there's parts of them like right here, like, oh, I love that little part. Like when I ever go to ESP's warehouse and I see like a bunch of them, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, I love that little piece right there. Like, oh, that one's sick. And it's like I'm seeing my own bass, but it's like with this finish, every single one of them looks different. It's so crazy, dude. I don't think that like, I think it's a very unique instrument in that respect, especially on ESP's like roster.
Yeah.
They don't have many like that, and with the whole body sandblasted, so I think it stands alone, and it looks killer, and it sounds even more killer,
Dude. Yeah, I can't wait until that show. So
yeah, we'll have a session. You can play my bass, but I'm gonna play your kit.
Oh man,
We should do a switch.
I can't play at all, dude.
Come on.
I want to. My brother tried teaching me. He's also a bass player.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I'm all about like what you had and whatnot and on that, man. Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that, man. It's gonna be really cool to see you there.
Oh man, yes, it will. It will be cool. You know what I mean? So, let me get back to you as a musician as well. Geez, how can I say this? Are you a primary writer of any of the bands that you've been in a part of?
I've done the most writing in The Absence for the 2
Absence.
albums that I have above me. For Coffin Eyes, the one that was a record that we put out in COVID,
Right.
2020. That was released. I got to write a bit right there. I always write my own bass parts unless I'm hired as a session person and somebody has like an idea that they want to do. But I'm always giving, like they'll have like a foundation, and everybody that I've always worked with be like, I want it, these are the parameters, but feel free to like add and subtract here and there as long as we stay within like this like realm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got to write a lot of stuff with The Absence. That's some of my most proud bass writing and sound sonically on an album. I did get to come up with a few cool parts for the Havok album that we did.
Right.
And all of the Soulfly stuff, like Max would have his riffs and whatever, but I would just play whatever I thought would fit
Really?
in both Ritual and Totem. Yeah, so I've been pretty lucky, pretty blessed in my experience as a bassist on record to just kind of have the trust of the guys, the producer, the band, kind of just do my own thing.
Dude, that's
So
sick.
yeah,
That's
it's pretty nice. It's pretty
nice,
cool.
man.
I like it. And then we're going to be writing some new CKY stuff too. And I've got a ton of riffs because I've been listening to the band since I was a kid. So it's like, oh, write some new stuff for CKY. And it's like, say less. I'm already on it.
All right. Since we were on CKY, so from your transition from Soulfly to CKY, how did that happen?
Unlike all of my other transitions joining bands, this one stands alone on itself.
Okay.
So remember I had spoken about how much the band meant to me as a kid. I used to travel. I used to drive all the way from Tampa to Philadelphia to go see them if I needed to.
Damn.
My father's from Pennsylvania, or he's from Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
okay.
I have a bunch of family up there, and it would be like we were actually up there visiting family where I met what would become a mutual friend of myself and Chad Ginsberg from CKY, a high school friend named Matt Citronbaum, and he's a jeweler. So he made all of the jewelry for the band. If you saw the MTV Cribs where Bam shows off the heartogram hood ornament on his Mercedes Benz, he made that.
Yeah.
And
oh,
that was
man.
all. Yeah. So he's like a metallurgist, and he does all sorts of stuff like that. And I met him at a Sam Ash at this mall called Franklin Mills Mall in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. And my parents had dropped me off there to go visit like my dad's grandma. It was like my great grandma who I'd never met. And they were like, you don't need to go. Let's just, hang out here. So they dropped me off at Franklin Mills Mall. There was a skate park, and right next to the skate park was Sam Ash. So I was like, I'm good all day. Like, I'll babysit myself, dude. Like, it gave me like $20 or whatever that you can buy some hot dogs at the food court.
Yeah.
And so I was in Sam Ash jamming, of all things, CKY. And my buddy Matt, he wasn't my buddy at the time, but Matt heard me, and he was like, this kid's playing CKY. And he comes like kind of nonchalant over to me like, hey, kid, what are you doing? I mean, the guy was at that time, he's probably like my age now, like 38 or 40. And I was probably like 15 or 14, 16 maybe. And I know I couldn't drive yet. I know that much.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, so you like that band? And I was like, I was probably wearing a CKY shirt and probably had CKY socks on, and I was playing CKY.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, and he kind of like, he was like, well, I know those dudes. Basic. He didn't say it like that, but over, he was picking my brain about playing bass mostly, and it ended up coming out in conversation. And then at that point, my parents had come back, and we were all kind of talking, and he was like, well, if you guys have some time, you come by my shop. I got a ton of stuff I think you would love to see. And so we went back. We followed him back to his place. He had like this cool shop that had all of this metalworking stuff. He had 5 times as many basses as I have on the wall. He had a whole hallway just with all of these basses and like every kind of bass, like big stand-up bass.
Yeah.
Like all these super cool instruments.
Yeah.
And he had all these skateboards and stuff from Bam, and so I went there, and he like showed me all the jewelry, and he made me this killer care package of like, all this stuff. And I think this was 2006 maybe, or 5. Not even. No, it was 3. It's 2003. So I was like 15 years old. Yeah. Anyways, I would go, we became really good friends, and my obsession with the band got deeper and deeper. And then I would go up there and spend time with him and with my family and stay for like a couple months at a time. And I would work with him, like shoveling snow up in Philly, because we don't have that in Florida. Yeah. And when golf would kind of like die down, I wasn't doing that. Then I would go up there and shovel snow and do all this hard work. Yeah. To make like $20, And so we ended up going over to Chad's house one time, and like I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Yeah. So like Chad was always super cool to me. He was always super cool to all the fans. Like CKY was a very fan friendly, like they loved their audience, and it was a lot of young kids like myself, and they were very like, fatherly figures to all of us. Right. And me especially, because I got to know them and I had like this inside thing, I was finding myself in situations like being at the House of Blues in Atlantic City on New Year's Eve, going into the dressing room at a CKY show and like drinking Crown Royal out of the bottle with the guys. I had no business being there, dude. And this was like, I was maybe 16 at the time, and like I snuck my way through in all these rock and roll situations. I remember that day specifically. It was like I learned, I think Chad or my buddy Matt were like, look, just walk, be confident, walk with us, don't get too far behind, walk like you own this place and that you belong in there. And I was like, okay. And as you know, that is in our business.
Yeah.
It's 101,
Yep. Yep.
So I learned that at a very young age and found myself in all these situations. So my passion for the band grew deeper, and also subsequently my passion for music. I was like hanging out with a band that was on tour, and I was going kind of like on tour with them. And I saw them in Jersey, or I saw them in Philly, or the first time I ever went to California out here, I flew out here with a friend because I was so obsessed with the band.
Wow.
After I had met them, a buddy of mine, his mother was like a travel agent, and I was like, CKY is playing in California, and my buddy's like, if you could get us into CKY for free in California, my mom will book the flights. And he did. And it was I saw him at school on a Monday, and by Friday we were skipping school on a flight to California to see CKY play at the Roxy on Sunset Boulevard. And I didn't have any plans. Like, he booked all the flights and everything, and I was just like, Jesus, I hope they remember me.
All right.
Because I had just come back from seeing all of them in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Sure enough, me and two of my buddies, the one that I flew with, another one that we met out there, walking up to the Roxy, and I see their tour manager, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Keep in mind, I'm 16. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the beard. I don't have none of this stuff going on.
Right.
And he's like, he recognized me, and he was like, "Weren't you just in Philly?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I told him a whole story." And he was like, "So what are you doing? You guys want to come to the show?" And I was like, "Of course. That's why we're here. We flew here to see the show." And he was like, "Well, do you have tickets?" And I was like, "No." And I had like, maybe the three of us probably had $100 for the weekend to survive, And he was just like, "Yep, got you." All access credentials. First time I ever got an all access pass. They walked in, said hi to the guys. We had a great time, like watching CKY on the Sunset Strip at the Roxy, right next to the Rainbow Room and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, long story, but those guys were pivotal in my growth as a musician, my yearning to become a musician. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for them, I would have been like an architect or cutting grass somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so flash forward to last year, I had been in touch with Chad this whole time. Anytime, through the Havok thing, anytime I was in a press release of some kind, like on the PRP or, what do you call that? Blabbermouth or anything, any kind of press, anything was happening with me, and he'd see my photo. He would text me like, "Hey man, I see you on, making moves. Congratulations. I got my bass." He's like, "Congrats, dude. That's huge, man. I'm so proud of you." And he's like, "Uncle Chad," the whole time.
Yeah.
And, anytime they're coming in town, I went to go see him at the Warped Tour. Or I'd go see him here and there, wherever. Still and always a huge fan. So when the time came and my wife and I moved out here, and I was just looking for a big change, and I knew that my time with Soulfly had kind of come to an end. We made the plan. Gloria and I were like, all right, well, we're just gonna go separate ways. It wasn't public at the time. That actually happened in January, and it wasn't until around April where we made the announcement.
Oh, wow.
And when the press release went out, I think it was about it was like a day or two. Chad saw the news and immediately slid into my DMs on Instagram and was like, "Yo, I saw that you're not playing in Soulfly anymore. What are you doing? Because we need a bass player." And I was like,
wow.
"Are you kidding me?" Like, I kind of, at the time, you can ask my wife, like, we had just moved out here. I wanted to change. I had started, I've been working with the company that I work for called Enki Cases, doing the artist relations stuff. We could talk about that.
Yes, we will.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't even know if I want to play music anymore. I kind of just want to take a break. We had been touring so much, and I was like, we just moved out here to LA. Like, let's enjoy it. Let's kind of get, our roots kind of sunk in a little bit and establish ourselves here. And I was like, I think I'm only going to do something if it's really worth doing or it's something that I absolutely love and it's an opportunity I can't say no to. And so Chad hits me up and he asks if I want to play bass in CKY, and the 16-year-old in me all the way to the 38-year-old me was like, yes, all at once.
Right. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, it was like, okay, that checks off all the boxes. Like,
Right.
yep, something I want to do. Yep, something that I've always dreamed of. Yep, something that makes sense. And it's like they don't tour that often. Everything we do in CKY is kind of like a more selective, and it's really cool like that. Like we're playing Sonic Temple, you know, with you guys. We'll do like a little bit of a run around that. We're about to go to Australia on Monday, and do some stuff. So it's like a little, you know, a lot less touring, but potent stuff. And that kind of falls in line with me because I'm getting a little bit older and nobody has time to go on tour for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, anymore. That's just, that's a young man's game. And
It is.
those days are behind me. I know, you know. So yeah, that's how it happened. And I couldn't be happier because, you know, the guys, you know, Jess and Chad, they were there from the beginning of all this, and they've seen me since I was a little kid too. So they got like hella respect, the mutual respect, at least, you know. I don't, it's not like a hired gun vibe. It's like a team member, you know, which is really killer because I've got all these tools, I've got all this knowledge, all these connections, and they put me to work, dude. They put me to work. You know, I'm doing a lot of publications. I'm doing merch designs and stuff like that, booking shows, just like boots on the ground, but like it's fun, dude. I love it. And it's for the band that started it all for me, dude. So playing these songs is like an out of body experience every day.
So speaking of these songs that made you have goosebumps every time listening to them, what are like your 2 favorite songs to play live with them?
For CKY?
Yeah.
That's a super easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's anything off the record, Infiltrate, Destroy, Rebuild. For me, that was like an incredible album. Like it just hit right at the right time for me. I was the right age. It was just my soundtrack for my whole life, dude. Whether I was driving around or skating around or working, it was just constant. I just tortured my parents with that record.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. And so from that album, there is a song that either 2 songs, is either Sink into the Underground or Attached at the Hip. For me, like anytime we're playing that, those are like the pinch me moments when I'm on stage, like, oh my God, this is so sick. And then the other one would be, of course, 96 Quite Bitter Beings.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, how many times I heard that song in my life, and the first time going on stage and playing it with them at Warped Tour was like I left my body.
How was that, man? Like
for us, it was incredible. The only thing that I didn't like about that day is that I wanted to come see you guys.
Oh.
And we were on the stage. I don't know, you probably didn't realize it, but the stages were really far away. Yeah. But I remember being on stage, like sound checking my gear, and I look across the field, and there's the big old body count. I'm like, there's the boys, right? I was like, I want to be over there, but I was like, hey, you know,
right?
Like I basically was like getting warmed up and sound checking to you guys.
Oh, man,
that was really cool. And then to play, you know, with the band, and I'm not sure if you know, but like Jess's parents, April and Phil Margera, they you know, they were all on the Jackass movies and Viva La Bam TV show, if you recognize them from that. Part of like the CKY culture, they used to come on stage all the time and introduce the band and get them chanting CKY. Yeah. That's like the thing, dude. The CKY chant is legendary. And so they joined us. They were also at Warped Tour. And for it being my first show, I've seen them as a fan doing this probably 15 times, you know, and it was just like always such a cool thing. It's like a big family, you know, Bam and Jess and the CKY and all of that. So to have them there and meet them was super cool. And here I am, like I got my in-ears in, and I'm listening to the CKY intro rolling, and as a fan I'm like, oh yeah, CKY is about to play sick. But then I'm like holding my bass and I'm hearing it in my ears, and I'm you know, dapping up Chad and Jess, and I'm like, oh, but I'm actually about to go on stage
right
and I'm gonna play these songs, you know. And that was like a moment for me where I was like, well, okay, here goes nothing.
Oh,
You know,
man.
30 years of my life dedicated to this, and here it all is. So it was
Dude,
really cool.
that's so sick, man.
Yeah, it was a really cool time.
Oh, okay. Out of all the bands that you've been in, and I know you've been all around the world and whatnot. Of course you
Dude,
have. Of course you have.
of course.
What was your favorite place to play?
That's an
Where-
easy one. Super
Oh.
easy one. Chile. Santiago, Chile. Anywhere in
Really?
South America?
Oh.
Yeah. The best fans in the world, dude. The most passionate fans. Like, when you play in South America, it's a very common practice to, like, hear the crowd over yourself.
Oh my
They're
God.
singing the riffs. They're not just singing the lyrics. They're going,
Yeah.
you know, when we're playing like anything from like Roots, Bloody Roots, you'd
Yeah.
hear the crowd go da 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 da
Yeah.
da, and then everybody's bouncing, and the whole place is bouncing, and the goddamn walls are like breathing.
You're right.
You know, it was, dude, the most insane shows. I mean, when I was growing up, I always saw bands, you know, like Iron Maiden, In Vivo. They had a live album that was from South America, or
Yeah.
like Megadeth live from Buenos Aires, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, why are all these bands doing live from South America? It's because the fans are crazy there.
Yeah.
It's the best shows.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the best crowd, man.
Yeah.
Best crowd, amazing food, a lot of incredibly deep culture down there. The fans are so passionate because South America is a really hard market to tour, and it's very expensive and difficult to get down there because, like in America or Europe, you can hop on a bus and connect the dots for a few weeks in a row and hit all these
Yeah.
places, no problem. Down there, you got to fly every day because you're
Oh.
covering a whole entire continent.
Yeah.
But it's like where you would be in Europe and you could hit Germany, France, Spain, and Belgium in a week in a bus. Like you're like, okay, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Buenos Aires, Santiago, and you know, all these, it's far apart. Bogota, Colombia. You got to fly every day. So it's a big endeavor. So when bands go down there and the fans have been listening, you've had for decades, they're just waiting. Oh, I've never seen. And then you go there, it's like an epiphany for them, like a spiritual experience.
Dude.
And they're just like, they're crying, dude. Like, we've been in airports where Max would get off the plane and we'd be walking to like the luggage, and people are like, this lady wanted Max to sign her baby once. It was like that movie Talladega Nights, like, sign my baby. And Gloria was like, no, we're not doing that. You know, they're just over there, they're crying, they're running with signs, like they're running with vinyls. They just want to be near him everywhere. And, you know, and South America is the best market on the planet, dude, for shows, for culture, for fans. That's an easy one for me.
I've been saying that for years for Body Count to go do that.
Gotta do it, dude. Yeah. Well, once
especially-
you go one time,
Yeah.
the rest of your life, it's like a snowball effect. You go once, and then the next time you go back, it's a fucking avalanche.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
They're so passionate.
I've been there, you know, to like South America, well, Brazil or whatever.
Come to Brazil.
Yeah, always see that. But I've been out there with Offspring like 3 times, and every single time, of course, you know, I'm always repping my band or whatever. I have a Body Count hat on. It's like Body Count. I'm like, yeah. You say, you know Body Count? I'm like, actually the drummer.
I know a guy.
Right? He's like, you guys need to come here. You need to come here. I'm like, I know, but I mean, I'm just a drummer. You know,
Come to Brazil. It's not just a comment in your Instagram feed. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, you're like,
come to Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man, dude.
Yeah.
Let's get into your favorite gear, like bass wise, man. Like what do you necessarily have to have? You know, like, here we go. Let's go.
This is another easy answer. Well, it starts with this guy right here.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Can't go anywhere without it.
Is that your favorite one?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one I've done all of my recordings that I've done with, a ton of shows. all my promo. That was like the prototype. That one's seen the most battles.
Oh, right.
And so for those of you maybe just listening, I just reached for my ESP signature MLB4 LTD bass. That's my own signature bass. Go check it out. It's anywhere you can buy basses or online.
There you go.
ESPguitars.com.
Yeah.
As far as like sound wise,
Yeah.
I use a quad cortex by Neural DSP because,
Yes.
as you know, and when you were flying and traveling as much as we are, consistency is important. So with an amp modeler of that caliber, you can get the same exact tone whether I'm sitting right here at this desk or I'm playing a stadium with 40,000 people, you know? And so that's super important. I love the consistency. I love the flexibility of that unit.
Yeah.
I tour with it everywhere. So there's that.
Yeah.
And of course, my trusty Enki cases that carry my basses and all my gear all over the world.
Can we talk about those cases?
Of course we can. It's all I do all day, every day.
Please, let's talk about them.
Why not?
Yeah, let's
I'm on the clock every day.
Right?
What do you want to know?
I want to know about these sick cases because I've been trying to get, our band with these cases and it looks durable and that's and I keep on seeing all these videos for them too and I think they look sick, man.
They're incredible,
for real,
dude. Yeah. It's something that the industry really needed, and I've been doing this for long enough to have existed in a world without Enkis. And back in the day, we used to just have to have our guitar cases, one in each hand.
Yeah.
And then that's 2 checked bags, and then they get tossed around, and like you're lucky if your guitar has, without any breaks or anything, especially down in like territories like South America or Australia. And when you're flying every day, it's just such a terrifying thing to have your beautiful instruments that you really can't go without. You can't play without them. So I lived in that world, and I remember we used to a lot of people used to duct tape their cases together so it's like one, and then the airlines were like, no, that's not good. You can't do that. And then, so in the Havok days, what we used to like take 2 of the cases and 69 them so that you could have one like this and you could open it that way, or you could flip it and then you open it that way. And we drilled holes. Me and Dave Sanchez from Havok drilled holes into our cases, into the bottoms of our cases, so that we could attach bolts and like nuts and bolts. So it was six of them, 2 at the head, 2 in the center, and 2 at the bottom. And they were bolted together.
Oh, wow.
And then the airlines were really like, no, that's 2 cases. And we'd open it up and like, it is 1 unit.
Right.
And so we still would have to carry it like that, but at least it would cut down on your flight checked bags.
Oh my gosh.
Which was crucial, save hundreds of dollars per flight when you're flying every single day.
Yeah.
So in 2017, actually, my buddy, again, shout out to my dude Tony Rouser at ESP, they had partnered with this company called Enki, and I was chewing through these cases from ESP left and right because Havok was touring all these insane places like Asia and Australia and all South America where you fly every day, and they were just getting annihilated. And I was asking for like 3 or 4 bass cases, every tour, every couple months. And he was like, we can't keep doing this. I've got something for you. You got to check out this Enki case. And I was like, okay, perfect. They were just getting started, and I'd just seen a little whispers of them. And I was like, that looks kind of cool. Maybe we should get them. Tony sent me the one, and lo and behold, it ended up being the prototype of the bass case. It was one of the first ones they made, and I still have it. I took that sucker all around the world, dude, with Soulfly. It still works. And so I fell in love with the product because it was something that this industry really needed. And they kept, going on and going on. So I think in 2021, I was on tour with Soulfly, and we were playing in Montana. And Dave Kronk, the owner, CEO of Enki, he was like, hey, I see that you guys are playing here with Soulfly. I love Soulfly. I'd love to come check out the show. And he was like, do you need anything? And I was like, well, this is, this thing's kind of wonky. It could probably use some new foam for like the headstocks and stuff because it's got foam inside that keeps everything nice and safe.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll bring you all new stuff. What size shirt do you wear? I heard Dino Cazares was playing guitar with us at that time on that tour.
Right.
And he was like, does Dino need anything? Do you guys want anything? Does Max need anything? And I was like, dude, come on here and I'll set up a meeting. I know Dino would love that, And so Dave showed up with his assistant and they took us out to lunch and we kind of talked shop and Dino got introduced to the product and he was like, yeah, cool. But what was really important about that meeting is that I kept in touch with Dave afterwards. I was giving him a lot of tips and like, he was like, you guys are touring super hard. And I was like, here's 5 things that I would work on with these cases. They're so killer, but these little 5 things would make them like, you were going to change the industry with this. Right. So we kept in touch. And then it was about 2003. I was like, I finally asked him like, who is working at Enki? And it was just him, dude. He had raised it to this like worldwide industry standard of flight cases for guitars by himself.
Oh, wow.
Until 2023. And I was like, dude, this is too good of a thing to like, if you don't mind me saying, you need a better social media presence and, you probably need somebody in artist relations. That's something that I would love to do.
Right.
He was like, okay, yeah, you're right. It's just the timing, we're working on some new stuff. So basically I kind of came up with an idea where I was like, you've got some of the best people, the best musicians on the planet using your products. And you're at NAMM every year. Like, why don't we do an artist event signing to raise awareness and like showcase your roster? Because it's awesome. And he was like, well, I never did anything like that. And at this point I had done several myself at NAMM, like signings or meet and greets and performances and whatnot between PV and ESP and SIT Strings, my company that I have strings with. Oh. And I was like, I could do this. And so I took on the task of procuring a list of artists that all were using NQ products. And I was like, hey, would you be willing to do a signing at this day at NAMM? Are you going to be at NAMM? Do you want to join us for this signing? So I built 3 signing events. It was like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday each day. And we had a bunch of our favorite artists come, like Gary Holt from Slayer and Exodus, the guys from Fit for an Autopsy, the boys.
Yeah.
A bunch of big homies,
Yeah.
And they were all like, yeah, of course, because I had made all these friends, all these connections. And they were like, yeah, I'll see you there. And it went off. Like the signing sessions went off, dude. And Dave was over the moon. Like, this is incredible. So after NAMM, he was like, I think we're ready to get you into artist relations. So I became the global director of Enki Artist Relations in the January or February of 2023 or 4. What year is it? 6 now? It was 4.
Yeah.
2024 I joined. And so
congratulations, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. And every
Where's
year
that clap
since
machine?
then, I got you.
Yeah.
I knew you were gonna love that.
See?
I knew it. So yeah, it's I've been with the company now for I guess 3 years, and I do social media, or I do artist relations and like marketing and stuff, product development and artist events coordination. My wife actually does social media, content creation. She's the director of all the social media. She's who runs our campaigns. All those videos that you mentioned that you've seen, it's a tag team effort between her and I. Me signing new artists and getting them contracted as exclusive artists for Enki, procuring content from them, and then they send it over to her, and she, formulates the schedule. And our calendar is always stacked with, some of the best artists that are out there doing it, showing their love for our product. So it's been really killer. The company's grown quite a bit.
Dude, that's sick, dude. No, that's it. You'll be hearing from us really soon.
And we're gonna start working on drum cases soon.
What?
So I got you, bro. Not yet, but when it happens, I'll be calling you.
Please.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says. We need drum cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
I got you, bro.
Yeah. Okay, okay. All right, all right.
We'll, s-
We'll talk
We'll talk.
later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Offline. It's a secret.
Oh man. Uh, I know you've been in the music business for a long time. Um, so you also do session work as well.
Yeah.
But what are you working on now?
I've been working with this band from France called Igor, and they're so crazy, dude. Like, you need to check it out. I'm gonna send you some stuff.
Okay.
It's a metal blade band. They just recently, well, I guess we've done 3 albums now on Metal Blade, but I've known them for a long time, and I met them just like every other story. I was on tour this time with Soulfly,
All right.
and we played a festival with this band called Igor, and it was like in the middle of like right on the beach somewhere in like France or Italy, and it was like us and Emure and Igor and Perturbator, the DJ guy. It was
Yeah.
just really
Yeah.
like, those European festivals that
Yeah.
just put all kind of bands together.
Yeah.
So Soulfly had just played, and we were kind of like loading up the trailer, and I was like getting out of my stage clothes, and I heard this madness happening on the stage, and I was like, "What is this?" It sounded like a circus that was like falling down a mountain. I don't know what else to say. Like, it was like the music is so unique and so insane.
Yeah.
I had to go check it out. So I went with my tech, and we were standing on the side of the stage, and it's just a DJ, my buddy Gautier. He's like the boss of everything. He makes all the music. He's up there on a DJ booth, kind of commanding everything. There's a live drummer and 2 vocalists.
Oh.
One man, like a gentleman doing like clean singing and insane screams, and then a woman also like singing clean. And there's just, dude, I'd never seen anything like it, and I was in love immediately. I was
Right.
like, I their tour manager, who is now married to Gautier. Her name, I don't know if I should even say it,
Right.
but anyways,
Yeah.
they were. I saw her, and I was like, "Wait, where are you guys from?" And she was like, "They're from France. I'm from Italy, but they're from France. We're from France." And I was like, "This is insane. Like, do you think I could meet the guys when they're done?" This is while they were performing.
Yeah.
She was like, "Absolutely." So like they get off stage, and I'm like smiling ear to ear, and I'm like,
Right.
great set. Yeah, like, oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just blew my mind. I'll see you later. So
Right.
we're like back at the dressing room area, and their dressing room was like right near ours. And the tour manager comes over, and she's like, "Hey, the guys would like to give you some merch and stuff. You guys want to come over and have some beers or whatever?" So we're rolling some joints, and we're just sipping some beers, and we're just getting to know each other. And I was like, "This band is fucking awesome." They gave us some shirts, some hoodies.
Right.
I was like, sick. So a week or so goes by, and we see them at another festival called Metal Days Festival in Slovenia. And by then, Gautier had done some research on me, and I had also done some research on him. And he was like, "You guys are booked through this guy. Like, we're about to start working with him. We're about to sign this record contract with this company called Metal Blade." And I've done 4 or 5 albums with Metal Blade at this point. And I was like, we were just chopping it up. And he was like, "Dude, we were about to work on we're working on a new album. It'll be a new album with Metal Blade. Would you like to play bass on a track?" And I was like, "Absolutely." I just say yes without even like, I don't like, when opportunity comes like that, I'm just like, "Yep," and I'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
So he sends me over the track, and it's like Aphex Twin mixed with like Dimmu Borgir.
Really?
It's like black metal, like, but with breakbeat. They call it Baroque core, like Baroque classical, like, dog. It's something else. I'm gonna send you something.
Oh,
If you want to do some research, we got this album called Amen that we just released this year.
Yeah.
And I've got 5 tracks on that album. And mostly all of them are like the ones that are the popular ones. You can find them on Spotify, and there's a bunch of music videos too.
Dude.
Check out a song called Headbutt or Infestus. Those are both really, really insane songs. It's insane music. But the track I did on that album was an album called Spirituality and Distortion. We recorded it in, I think, 2019, and it finally came out during COVID. And it's a song called Paranoid Bulldozer Italiano. And that's the one that starts off sounding like Aphex Twin, which I love. I love Aphex Twin.
Yeah. man.
I'm sure you love
Yeah,
breakbeat stuff
yeah,
too. It's
yeah.
super busy, crazy drums, crazy percussion. But it's
I
like that, but with like guitars and like French like accordions, harpsichords.
right.
Homie makes like instruments out of like a gas canister. He'll like cut it in half and like make it into a drum. Or like a giant one of the ones that we used on this new album, he had a giant saw blade from like a wood mill and he
Oh.
turned it into a gong, you know. Or for the song Headbutt, he got like an old piano that was like about to be falling apart, and
Yeah.
he used a claw, like an excavator, like one of those big
Yeah.
claw machines.
Yeah.
He used the claw machine to play the piano with the
Oh.
machine. It's like
Dude,
that.
I
It's in the
just I,
video.
I just found the song.
Yeah,
Right,
Headbutt. It's
Headbutt.
super
Yeah.
crazy. The last
Igor.
note of the song is him playing the piano with a fucking excavator.
Okay.
So it's
Damn.
like that. And of course, obviously, I fell in love because I've never seen anything like that. It goes all the way back to the CKY thing where it's like, I had never
Right.
heard anything like that. I like music that doesn't sound like other music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And both, like, Igor is completely that. So I've been working with Gautier ever since. Yeah, we met in 2018. Did a song on spirituality and distortion. He hired me to play bass on a project called Aldebert. There's like a French dude who makes metal music for kids.
Hmm.
And it was a project of songs called La Princesse. But it's like, it starts off like it's kind of like a nursery rhyme that turns into like a black metal riff. And then it goes back to the nursery rhyme and then it's like a death metal riff. It's so crazy. Serge Tenkian also does a song on the record. Max Cavalera does a song. Johan from Amon Amarth. So we got all
Really?
these killers together to make this super cool project. I got it somewhere around here.
Dude, I'm seeing that the Scott Ian.
Scott Ian does a song on the new
Yeah.
album. Yeah. Called Mustard Mucus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cool project, dude.
Dude,
It's so
I gotta listen to this, man.
it was my favorite band before I was even asked like to record on it. And now it's like, I will say Amen is my
Yeah.
favorite record that I've ever recorded on ever. Bass sound wise, the tonalities musically, like the whole image of it. Like Igor is my favorite like band now, and CKY is my favorite band growing up. And I
Yeah.
literally get to play in both of my favorite bands, and
Dude.
they sound completely different. It's like it's a dream come true. I love Gautier and everybody in the Igor camp. I love the Metal Blade family too. I've
Yeah.
known all of those guys forever.
Mm.
And then the CKY camp too. It's like it keeps me busy, but it's all really cool stuff.
Mm.
And then on top of that, I do the Enki thing. So
Dude. Dude, you're busy.
gotta stay busy, dude. It's like we said in the beginning, have music keep you busy, but always have something in the back too.
Yeah. Have to.
As we learned in COVID, when the whole world shut down, I thought I had all my bases covered, but all my bases were live music. So when you're not playing concerts, I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do now?
Yeah, I know. Would that be your advice for like beginning musicians? If
For
they wanna
beginning musicians,
yeah,
most certainly, dude.
Yeah.
Most certainly, especially nowadays, dude. Like with Uber being a thing and like Uber Eats and stuff like that, like get a job that you can we're so blessed, dude, in this modern era to have freedom,
Yeah.
and guys like us, we're older. Back in the day, it was really hard to like even find a job, much less find a job that you could leave and come back to.
Yeah.
So, but
Oh,
nowadays,
man.
like you can make your own hours and there's so many different things you can do from your phone, and yeah, just definitely like as an up and comer, focus on the music, but make sure the bills are paid too.
Yeah.
It's never been easier, kids. Get out there and get to work.
All right. I like to do this on all the shows that I've been doing recently. But I have a question for you. Let's switch things up.
All right.
Did you have any questions for me?
Yeah, of course,
Oh, boy.
obviously. Well, I don't know. I don't know what everybody else asks, but like we've been
Right.
talking about how I got into all this, and you
Right.
touched it like the beginning, but like dude, body count, man. That's so crazy. Like, how did that happen? You got that call, and that's just you've been doing it forever now. I feel like
Yeah, I
shit. We
was.
met 10 years ago, so
Yeah,
and it was before then.
yeah. So I was. I got into the band in 2009. I was a official member of them in
Crazy.
2009. So, before that, of course, working in that Guitar Center, and I was in this other band, that was in LA, and I guess it was a place called or Lancashire,
I love
uh,
that. Yeah,
yeah, um, called a place called Amp Rehearsal, right?
I think I just
And
was there actually
yeah,
recently.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's still there, um, but I mean, everybody used to rehearse there. Everyone did. But I mean, it was for like a certain time or whatever. And I guess the one of the guys that used to work out front, called me up and told me. And at that time, I just started getting into drum teching, right? So I'm drum teching for uh, do you remember the Rhythmics?
Of course.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So the partner, um, oh my guys, I'm brain farting right now. So
We're old enough to get away with a brain
right.
fart every once in a while.
um eh, he wrote Dave Stewart. Oh my gosh. Dave Stewart. He started doing his band, and the drummer from Canada hit me up. He knew I worked at Guitar Center, and he's like, dude, say I love seeing you there, Doe, but dude, get into drum teching. It's like I know you want to play drums. I know that, but it's like, dude, but get your foot in the door. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm like, okay. So I was drum teching, and at that same time, I got a phone call from the guy from Amp Rehearsal, and he calls me and say, dude, you need to call this guy. They're looking for a drummer. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I say, but I'm kind of busy right now. I'm drum teching, for Dave Stewart. And he's like, oh, we got tryouts here. It's like, would you like to come out and do it? He wouldn't tell me who it was for. Not until I
Sneaky.
got, yeah, not until I got there. And he's like, all I can tell you, it's in rock, it's in the metal, it's in the punk. I'm like, okay. And I sit in there, and I didn't know who any of them were. And to come to find out, it's my bass player Vince and Ernie C from Body Count, and I didn't know that. So we
Mm.
started going through, some songs. And I say, I only know the first album. They say, did you guys put any newer stuff? It's like, oh yeah, we just, put out some stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I just saw you on David Letterman, and I didn't know you guys were still doing music. I didn't know. And I
Yeah,
didn't,
there was like a long hiatus, I think, right? Wasn't
yeah.
there?
But I mean, because of course, a couple members died. The original drummer died. I didn't know that. And then he got this other drummer that was in there. And then, yeah, I did the audition, whatever. Went back to the teching thing. I got called back again. He said, God, you need to come back again and do a second audition. I'm like, okay.
Nice. Good sign.
And, and sure enough, uh, he finally told me, it's like, this is for, Ice-T's band. I was like, Ice-T's old band, Body Count. He's like, yeah, it is. It is for,
That's
it
so
is
sick.
for, yeah. So I was like, hey, hell yeah, I'm all about it, man. Let's do it. It's like, and then my first show was at a Warp Tour
No way.
show. Yeah, for a 50th anniversary show. I was nervous as you know
Oh
what, because
shit.
that was my first, like big opportunity band like that, so I've been in it ever since. And then it took a hiatus after that, after 2009, and didn't come back into 2014. And that's when bands that started going at it in 2014 and still going.
That's awesome, dude.
So here we are.
Here we are. Wait, so your first show with Body Count was Warped Tour?
Yes.
That's
Oh my
another.
gosh.
Yeah. That's it.
Yes.
We got a
Yes.
jam, dude. It's a
Oh,
sign
dude.
from above.
Yes, it is.
That's
It is.
crazy.
I didn't even think about that when you
Here
said
we
that.
are. Look at that, dude.
Whoa,
I
man.
think the longer we
Yeah.
talk, the more we're gonna find too.
Oh, man.
Cool, man. That's so crazy. So I do have another question for you.
Okay, what you got? What you got?
You want to talk about that little thing on the table behind you right there? What's the story behind that? That's a little thing. That's like a modest little flex in the background right there. I got all these guitars and shit. You just like, yeah, but I got this thing. That's pretty cool, man.
This is for Body Count.
Oh my God.
For Bum Rush, a song.
Yeah, of course.
and-
A song.
a
I've heard of
song.
it.
Yeah. And this was for Best Metal Performance.
Unreal.
Yeah, dude. And I thought honestly that we were gonna lose. Cause you know who was in that?
I remember it being a very stiff competition.
Oh my gosh, man.
I don't recall exactly who it was, but I remember being like, damn, it's stacked up right here.
I was like, man, I thought honestly, I thought we were gonna lose. And the reason why I said that because Meshuggah was in that category.
Whoa. Heavy.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
Yeah. Meshuggah. So
That's wild.
I was just like, we lost. You know, like
It's a wrap.
me personally, I didn't even watch it. All I heard was Ice was on call.
Oh, snap.
And he had to be at his computer because this is during 2020.
Right.
During the pandemic, right?
Oh,
And
crazy.
and we got nominated 2 years before that. We lost that. Which is all good, whatever, you know. And of course it was to Mastodon.
Oh, snap.
Yeah,
Huh?
but I mean,
Rightfully so. They were
yeah.
on fire back then, too.
yeah, they were. And yeah, and I mean, they even said the same thing because we did the Grammys there in New York, and they thought they were gonna lose as well, you know. But I was like, during this 2020, I didn't even bother watching. I was watching some kind of football game or something, you know.
Oh,
like,
my God.
yeah, I was like football, you know, like get into football. My phone is blowing up.
Oh, my God.
Like one
I
of my
bet.
drummer friends called me. He's like, "Dude, you won." I'm like,
Wait, what? Won what?
what are you talking about, dude?
You
I'm
gotta
like,
Google it.
Right. I'm like, and I did.
Uh-huh. Of
He's
course.
like,
I
like,
would have
it's like,
too.
dude, you guys won. I'm like, bullshit, man. We didn't win. You know, I'm like, my wife's in the shower or whatever, you know, like, and I just went in my bedroom and I was like, and I'm looking it up, like best metal performance, you know, Body Count. I'm like,
Whoa.
oh my God.
That's got to be so surreal, dude. Like you
Yeah.
kind of step outside of yourself and you're like watching your phone through like from above.
Yeah. I'm like, is this for real?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is for real. So I'm, like I run out of my bedroom and I'm knocking on my wife's, like shower door. It's like, babe, you gotta get out. Babe, you gotta get out.
Something
you know?
happened. Something, come out here. I got to tell you something.
I gotta tell you something. As I'm telling her, I'm like overwhelmed, and I'm like,
What do you say? Just like, we won a Grammy.
yeah, we won, and I'm like bawling with her because like she's been my rock, like the whole time, like
Oh, yeah.
of this whole Body Count, movement, and couldn't believe that it even happened, because Dave Elson, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And the year before that, because I saw him at NAMM, he's like, oh, it's like, how many times it took us to win a Grammy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a few times. I was like, I'm telling you, you guys will get it. And then
That's hilarious.
and he was right. Like we finally got it, you know. So, but anyway, yeah, that's how
That's
we got here.
incredible, man. That's a big
Yeah.
win all around. Look at you. I got a button for that. You ready for it?
Yes, yes.
Take it in, brother.
Yeah,
That's so
man.
sick.
Yeah,
That's so
dude.
sick.
Dude, man, dude, this was fun, man.
Yes, it was.
Dude, thank
I
you
laughed a lot.
so much for doing this, dude.
My pleasure, dude. Anytime.
Dude, this was so awesome, and thank you for having that laugh machine.
All the time, dude. I got you. We'll get you squared away. I'll tell you how I do it.
Dude,
show you some of my tricks.
I know you're going to NAMM, and I know this is going to show 2 weeks later after that, but you're going. You'll be there, right?
The company will be there. I will
Right.
be on tour in Australia with CKY,
Oh, that's right.
which is it's such a double-edged sword because it's like I love NAMM. You know, a lot of people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, NAMM again! I gotta go to NAMM." You know, these companies got to stand up for 12 hours a day and talk for 15 hours a day. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I have a super good time, especially since I've been doing this artist event. Like that's
Yeah.
like my baby, you know.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see all of our artists and like let them come into the booth and take care of them. And I just love that thing. It's for me, it's really killer. But on the other hand, I
Yeah.
get to go to play Australia with CKY, and they haven't been there in like 14 years. And I got a ton of friends in Australia too that are, one of my really good buddies. The first time I ever toured in Australia, his name is Paulie Tipping.
Yeah.
He is like a tour manager now, and I found out like 3 days ago, Paulie's going to be tour managing CKY. So now we get to
Dude.
tour together again. Like,
Dude.
that was back in 2013, and I had a video call with him yesterday.
Yeah.
And we're just catching up, and it's just like, yeah, man, I'm super, super stoked.
Dude.
So yeah, it's cool. It's a
Dude.
double-edged sword. Won't be at NAMM. We'll be in
Right.
Australia.
Yeah.
But NAMM is going to be killer. Enki still will be there.
Yeah.
Of course, I will not. But my team's going to be there. My wife will be there. Everybody that's doing the signing that's going to be on Friday at 12 p.m. We've got a ton of killers going there. We've got Dino Cazares, Shavo, Odagian from System of a Down, 7 hours after Violet. We got Fernanda Lira from Crypta. We've got my dude Phil Demmel from A Million Bands.
All right.
We got
Yeah.
Felipe Andrioli from Angra, and my dude Jose Macario from this new band from Mexico called Ladrones.
Really?
So it's sick. Yeah, Ladrones is sick, dude. It's like Polyphia with a singer that sings in Spanish.
Wow.
It's dope.
Okay. Dude,
So I'm trying to mix it up there too, a little bit of
Yeah.
everything for everybody,
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
So that'll be at 12 p.m. at our booth. It's booth 5230 in Hall D,
Hall D.
I guess.
Dude.
Yeah,
Dude.
it'll be really cool. I wish I could be there, and I will be there every year from now on, but this just so happened that they were lining up the exact same week. It's like an eclipse,
Yeah.
Thanks. Great.
Man. Oh, man. Thank you, Mike, man. Dude, thank
Yeah.
you for coming on the show. Man.
Thanks for having me, dude. It
Oh,
was a great time.
Dude, great time.
I knew it was gonna be a long one. I was like,
Right?
we're gonna get the juices flowing, and it's You're like,
Got
it
it.
should be like an hour and a half. I was like,
Right.
no, I got too
No.
many stories.
Yeah. We got a lot of stories in this. Dude,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Good chemistry. Your
Yeah.
questions were great. Everything's been awesome. I'm a big fan of the podcast, and I'm a big fan of yours. So,
Dude, thank you
Yeah.
so much, dude.
my pleasure.
Everybody, Mike Leon.
One for the road, yeah?
That's right. Yeah.
Special guest featuring the laugh track.
Right, yeah. Take it easy, Mike.
Awesome,
All right, man.
brother.
All
See
right,
ya.
cool. Hey, did you know that we have a website, Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr.? We got all kinds of stuff on there, man. Check it out. Got some cool swag on there, like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug. Man, if you can just go on there and just check it out and see what you think, man, it would help me out, But yeah, check out the gear. Hope you like it, and support Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr. Thanks. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Will Dorsey Jr. of Talk Music Podcast. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, that little red button on there. Just hit it. That will help me out tremendously. If you can also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that will also help me. And if you wanted to download our podcast on Apple or Google or Amazon or even Spotify, you can check us out on there. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, E-Record Studio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their e-record sessions on social media. Visit ERS on erecordstudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.